I'm coming for all of you. Right now, there's a 15-year-old sophomore in high school who has no idea they're studying nursing just so they can wipe my ass in 17 years. I'm 50 and single. That's a fantastic combination. I'm going to spend my golden years dating a handful of spit and a jug of Astroglide.
Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. How are you? I'm good. I'm sort of good. Not sort of. I'm great. I'm sort of great. I'm really good, but sort of great. It's a netherworld, probably. You can put me there and say I'm sort of good, but kind of great. Happy New Year. Let's go ahead and throw that at you guys right now. Happy New Year to everybody. It is 2018. We are coming at you live. Not live on tape or on audio or whatever the fuck this thing is. I've only been doing this 10 years. I don't know what to call this fucking thing. I guess it's an audio file. So I'm coming at you live via MP3, via audio file, via Art19, via RSS feed, via MikeSchmidtComedy.com, via wherever the fuck you grab me, Stitcher or Podbean or all the other fucking things that I found out about, because I can't get a true number, folks. I don't know who's listening. I don't know who's listening. I don't know when they're listening. I'll say this. I don't know why they're listening. I'll throw that in there. Oh, bullshit. Fuck that. I'm going to say this. I know why they're listening, because I'm the fucking man. That's why, as I pound this fucking desk and light up my desktop directly into my face. It is early in the morning on Wednesday. I wish I could say it was Tuesday. I wanted to do this on Tuesday, and I could not. Here's why, man. I got my dick knocked in the dirt, and I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I sort of do. I caught a bug, but it wasn't really a bug. I hate saying I'm sick, all right, because I'm not really sick. I wasn't sick like stuffed nose or bad throat or cough or, because I've gotten that before. You get that winter cold thing happening. I've been very lucky to avoid that. I've gotten the sniffles. I've had a little impacted sinus. Well, I haven't had an impacted sinus. That sounds like real medical. I had a stuffy nose. Let's put it that way. I had a stuffy nose and some tickly throat early when the weather changed. I went to Denver early in November. Who's that? Fucking Fuji guy. No, it's Black Eyed Pea. Who's that? I think it's Bob Marley. I'll be gone till November, I think, is Bob Marley originally. But then didn't the Fugees redo it? Or Wyclef? Wyclef Jean, that's what it was. That guy, there used to be photos of him driving like the Batmobile, right? Wasn't the Wyclef Jean, he was one of those dudes that got rich, and then he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be fucking crazy. And he went out and bought a bunch of nonsense. It's like, some guys get rich, and they decide they're going to live the life that Morris Day dreamed about. Whenever you see Morris Day in shows, and he's wearing like a weird sharkskin suit, and he's got a valet with a mirror all the goddamn time, and you're like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. And then guys really do it. Dudes like fucking, like I said, like Wyclef Jean, or they just go ahead and go, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and live my best life, and I'm going to have a dude follow me around with a mirror and drive around in a Batmobile. And this week there's like Powerball and Mega Millions, and don't think I haven't spent my money on those, folks. I got that kind of dough. I got that kind of lottery dough laying around so I can grab myself a couple of slips with numbers on them in a consecutive fashion that'll get me some sort of monetary payoff. That's the weirdest description of the lottery in history. But when that happens, I'm going to be a fucking psychopath. I've talked about it on previous shows. I'm going to have a gold fork. I'm going to walk around all restaurants and sample food off people's plates, and nobody can do a goddamn thing. I'll just make it rain and have people dive all over the joint. I'm going to live my, fuck Morris Day. I'm going to live like the Joker in Batman 89. I'm just going to, when he buys a fucking balloon and he's like, hubba, 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 who do you trust? Who do you trust? Where's the Batman? He's home washing his tights. Meanwhile, I'm here eating food off your plate at fucking Broken Spanish, which is a restaurant in Los Angeles that I need to try. Fuck, I've got all sorts of resolutions. I've got all sorts of stuff spread out ahead of me here, folks, in 1918. I'm doing a show in 1918, folks. That's how I handle my business. I've gone ahead and I've loaded up the old time machine, and I did it on purpose to go and invent podcasting. I got to be honest, I may have overshot. If I go back to 1918, I think that's a weird time to invent podcasting. I could probably go back to 2004 and invent podcasting, couldn't I? What did Adam Curry do? Because he's the guy who invented it, right? I'd like to think that me and Jimmy and Matt invented it. I'd like to think that Ricky Gervais and Jackie Cation were involved. But unfortunately, if you go back to 2004 or 2003, also my friend David Lawrence, he had a hand in inventing sort of podcasting. But I think Adam Curry was the main dude. And I don't know if he was doing it out of his house. And I don't know how the fuck he did it, because he must have worn earbuds. I will say this, Adam Curry may have invented earbuds as well, because there's no way he got the cans over that mane. That is a serious mane on an Adam Curry. And I will say this, you remember Adam Curry, right, from MTV? And he didn't really have an accent, but There's a guy, a chef now named Curtis Stone that reminds me of Adam Curry. Chef Curtis Stone, but he's a big Australian dude. He's like 6'4", but he kind of, to me, for some reason, I get an Adam Curry vibe off of him, which is, I don't know if that's ever a good thing. Oh, fuck that. Adam Curry was on TV forever. He invented podcasting. I can't run the guy down. That's another thing in 2018. Let's stop making fun of people who don't deserve to be made fun of. Adam Curry's a fucking guy who's rich. I mean, he might be a bland dude like Carson Daly. Carson Daly's inoffensive. That's the best thing you can probably say about Carson Daly. And the bullshit. He's tenacious and inoffensive. And rich. You could say all those things about him. Do you like Carson Daly? I don't know if anybody really has an opinion. I don't think anybody out there hates Carson Daly. I don't think anybody out there's like, fuck, I hate Carson Daly. You can't hate him. He's just like air or shaving cream. He exists. There's nothing you can fucking do about him. He serves a utility, and you go, okay. Because, I mean, look, there's all sorts of different kinds of shaving cream. He's Barbasol. He's the guy in the can. He's been around for 50 years. He's going to be around for 50 more. He's never going to age. And he's going to produce nondescript television shows that air at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're going to go, oh, if you're up late one night and you turn to the NBC, you go, oh, Carson Daly's still around. I don't know how those people stay rich. I don't know how because, I mean, that's what we're all striving for. I think all of us want to go ahead and be celebrities in that realm, in that genre. I'd love to be a guy who just made money. Like, again, like I've always said this, I used to think when I came to town I was going to be famous, I was going to be rich, I was going to act in shows, and I was going to act in movies, and then it turned into stand-up, and then I was going to be, I'm going to go ahead and write on shows. Maybe that'll be my bullhorn and not my bulldozer, not bullhorn. I'm going to write with a bullhorn. I'm going to act with a bullhorn. That's what I need to do. Oh, my God, I need to write a play where everybody uses a bullhorn. Wouldn't that be great? Would you, look, none of us, we don't really go to a lot of theater. Because a lot of the theater we go to now is all people shouting and dancing around in period costumes. A lot of guys in powdered wigs having shootouts and rapping. A lot of that happening. A lot of Andrew Jackson all of a sudden busting out a fucking rhyme. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I joke about Hamilton because I haven't seen it yet, and I know when I see it, it'll be revelatory, just like Book of Mormon was. I don't know if I've talked about that on here. I've not seen Book of Mormon. I had not seen it until last summer when Ahmad came to town, and then suddenly, last summer, me, Ahmad, and the motels went and checked out fucking Book of Mormon, and went, this thing is fucking fantastic. I almost did a somersault in the goddamn balcony of the goddamn Pantages because goddamn it, goddamn. That's what I want to say, goddamn a million times. But it was fantastic, and I'm a musical guy. I do love that kind of stuff. You know, we've talked about this before. Have we talked about it? Maybe we haven't. Maybe I've talked about it myself when the microphones weren't on. God, I do a lot of that these days where I sit in my house and I talk about nothing. How the fuck did I spin off into Hamilton and bullshit and then writing celebrities. People who are celebrities for no reason. That's what I was talking about. All right, let's make, because again, we're all trying to just do that thing where we can exist and make $100,000. When I first moved out here, I was like, I want to make $1 million. I'm going to be writing shows. I'm going to be doing business. I'm going to be doing all this cool stuff. And now, man, I want to talk to you guys and be paid for the privilege. Possibly do some stand-up on the road every week. That would be great. Even 2 weeks a month. Like, you alter your goals is my point. I'm 50 years old. I got 25 years left. And if in that 25 years, do I think I'm going to be able to be a millionaire? No, I don't. I don't think there's enough guys in this town for me to blow to get famous. I just don't think it's happening. And I'm certainly not going to be able to rail any fucking lady executives. Because nobody's wanting fat guy. Nobody's like, oh man, get me fat guy sex and then I'll put him in a movie. I can't take the traditional route is my point. I can't go ahead and or the shortcut, I guess you'd call it. Forget talent. You know what I mean? If you just wind up sucking a cock or 2 or 10, then maybe, who knows, maybe you're at a show. And now we're back to Carson Daly. He was on his knees in front of Dick Clark. You know that. Him and Seacrest just giving a total double barrel blowjob on Dick Clark as Dick Clark's lip drooped and drool dripped on the two of them. No, they got him when he was good. They got him when he was fresh. They got him before he was spoiled, before he was compromised, before he tripped over an ottoman and hit his head or whatever the fuck he did. He had a massive stroke, right? Is that what happened to him? Or several strokes? Maybe he had a bunch of small strokes. Why does it have to be a massive stroke? Why couldn't he just have a bunch of small strokes? See? Size doesn't matter. You don't want to say that Dick Clark had a massive stroke. You want to think Dick Clark had like a bunch of little strokes, and maybe that's what led to him not being able to say the letter R. Or the letter S. Or half the fucking alphabet, actually. He was only, in his later years, he was only able to pronounce the letter W when you would watch him in that show. But they still do that show now. Like, I remember when I was a kid, again, New Year's Eve was a big deal. You'd have herring. Herring was a big tradition in our family. We'd bust that out. We'd have chicken and a biscuit crackers, which we loved. Oh my God, I love a chicken and a biscuit. And now, if I were to buy a chicken and a biscuit now, you know what I would probably do? I'd probably just suck the cracker and spit it out. I just like the covering. That's bullshit. I mean, I do like the crackers themselves. And I will tell you, here's a trick for tricking in a biscuit. It's the same trick I use for Raisin Bran. When I would make a Raisin Bran bowl, I would pour milk in it, and then, fuck that, not even Raisin Bran, Life cereal. This is the way to go. I've talked about this before. Life cereal, you fill a bowl with it, and you just pour a bunch of sugar all over it, and then you put milk in it, like ice cold milk, and then you kind of like mix it around, and you eat the top layers, but then you're letting that other part sit in the milk. It's just going to sit in the milk! And then it's going to become like a fucking haystack. And it's just a sugary haystack that you shove down your goddamn throat. Oh, is it delicious. It's so damn good. And it's just big fucking, you fill your mouth with it, and it's just like I'm eating a fucking sugary sponge, but with like a wheat taste to it, or whatever Life has, like a corny taste, whatever, a grain taste. It's a couscous taste. It could be. Regardless, that's the way you eat a Life cereal. You gotta like get soggy, and you knock it back, and you knock it down. And, what the fuck else was I talking about? That herring? I said it was herring, and then it was something else. Fuck, I don't even remember what the fuck I was going to tell you about. There was some other thing that I eat like Life cereal that I let get soggy. I have a strategy. I have a food strategy, folks. As you know, I cover pumpkin pie in a Cool Whip dome. I like to do that. That's how I handle my business. Herring. Oh, chicken and a biscuit crackers. Fuck yeah. If you put enough of them in your mouth and you chew it up, then you got a big fucking, like almost like a wad of chickeny chewing tobacco in your fucking mouth. It's got that same, it gets like, you put it in your, you like chew it up. You like chew up about 15 chicken and a biscuit crackers. That seems like a big thing for your mouth if you're a lady or you're a small man. But still, you chew them up, and then you tuck them in your cheek like a chaw, like a crazy red man, but a chicken man. And you put it in your, and then you're just like, you're getting the, you know how they get the tobacco and they spit it? Don't spit it, just swallow that chicken spit. Oh my God, is it delicious? And I'm probably making you sick now. But if you just, because you've balled up the crackers into a huge ball, and then you're just working all the chickeny flavor out of it. And eventually you can spit out the chaw of crackers if you want, or, hear me out, you could eat the crackers like a regular gentleman. Just chew on them and gnaw on them and eat them and then suck all the chicken off of them. And then you eat them like a regular person. Or you could go with my strategy of making a chicken chaw. Go chicken chaw. That's what I would do if I was you. Of course, I'm not you. I should be you. Why can't I be you? So the point is, folks, it's 2018. It's a new year. And we have all sorts of resolutions to make. Let's do this. Let's get together. Because we already have the Lil Schmitty's Attaboy Fit Brigade page, which I've been woefully absent from. I do check it, but I've been entering all the challenges on Fitbit. However, the last week of December, I was kind of like, I don't really want to live doing these things. But it all changes in 2018, and I'm not. Please don't look at that as me going, I'm making a revelatory change. I mean, I've been making small changes. No fast food and no soda, trying to do that. I did have fast food on as my last meal of 2018. I was going to put a photo of it up on the Attaboy Fit Brigade page. I went to Jack in the Box because I drove all night on New Year's Eve, and that was fun. That's a great way to rig in 2018, out there in a car by yourself or with strangers who vomit. I did have a vomiter. I had a lady. I picked up a couple of ladies who were going to Pasadena from Hollywood, which is good because it was a 3.0 surge and an 18 or 19-mile ride. Well, that's good. It's about a $40 ride, so I'm happy to do that. So they hop in the car, and I knew it was trouble when I pulled up outside of the Sky Bar, folks. And nothing good comes out of the Sky Bar, not the front door. All the celebrities are sneaking out the back. Out the front door, that's the great unwashed who happen to be able to let into Sky Bar. They waited long enough behind the velvet rope to go into Sky Bar and get vomity drunk and then get carried out by an Arab. So I'm there, and sure enough, two dudes come walking out, and a couple of Mohammed guys come out. And I say that on purpose because they had name tags that said Mohammed. One was a valet guy, one was a bouncer guy. And he had a lanyard. The bouncer guy had a much fancier thing. He might not have even worked at the Sky Bar. It might have been just a guy who's like, "Hi, my name is Mohammed." Maybe there was some sort of gathering there I don't know about. But these two ladies came out of I was waiting, and I knew it's always trouble when you go to pick somebody up and you're waiting and they don't fucking show up right away, and you call them 3 times, you don't get their phone, you get like a voicemail, you're like, God fucking damn it, what the fuck, man? So then you're waiting, and again, it's all money. As you wait, you're getting, and Uber does this thing, they're like, you're getting paid to wait, so don't worry about it. Fuck you, I'm going to worry about it, because, I don't get paid real money until somebody's in the car and I'm fucking driving. I'm not getting paid to sit at the goddamn curb, as I say, like Travis Bickle, as if I care about this goddamn thing. But in the moment you do, you fucking care just because of the inconvenience. If somebody makes you fucking wait, I have enough of a fucking complex already that I'm doing the goddamn thing, that I'm working at that ridiculous fucking job. But then the fact that you would actually deign to make me wait, and then, you know what I really hate? When someone gets in the car and they don't even say anything. Like, I'm just like, drive, fucking dick. And I'm like, oh, I hate you. I almost said a different word there. Because that's the weird contempt you get from people, contempt. All right. I'm waiting. I'm sitting there waiting. Other cars are all. It's a zoo. It's just a fucking Lord of the Flies. And Piggy's got the conch, and then the two ladies are walking the fuck out. And thankfully, Piggy's not getting into my car because I'll tell you what, only thing more annoying than two drunk ladies going to Pasadena is Piggy with the conch. You do not want to drive fucking Piggy with the conch all over the place. That is fucking because he won't stop at the conch. You tell him, and he gets in the car, and I go, look, I've got satellite radio. He goes, and I'm like, are you calling a meeting of who? Me and you? We're here already, man. The conch is not bringing me to the yard. It's not your milkshake. It's not going to bring all the boys to the yard. We're both here in the car. It's because it's like, it's better than yours. Damn right. It's better than yours. I could teach you, but I'd have to charge. My conch brings all the boys to the yard. That's if Piggy did milkshakes. If Piggy from Lord of the Flies did Milkshake by Khalees. That's you're not going to get that in any other podcast, folks. You're not going to get that in any other year. That's strictly a 2018 reference. I go with novel from the 60s and song from the 90s. There you go. Was that from the 90s? That can't be that long ago. It had to be. It's the 2000s. Back. You know what? I think that song came out the year that Adam Curry and I invented podcasting. And when I say Adam Curry and I mean he invented it and did something with it, and I did it in my house. Just like when I invented Uber on this very podcast. And that's not even a fucking joke. Go by year one. I invented Uber. I was like, man, I want to just ride to bus stops and offer people rides. Like, literally, I just want to drive them. And then I would have stopped there, except 4 steakheads from fucking California went ahead and sent with VC money and hooked it up and made it fucking happen, and now I went up working for them. Look at that. That's like when Ben-Hur invented chariot racing. He was like, yeah, this concept is brilliant, and the Pharaoh stole it. Next thing you know, Ben-Hur's driving a fucking chariot in it. That's why he makes himself the best goddamn chariot driver in the fucking world, because he wants to go ahead and rally against the Pharaoh. And don't we all want to rally against the Pharaoh? 2018. It's about time. You know, that's my campaign slogan. I'm running for city council. Mike Schmidt, 2018. Rally against the Pharaoh. Let's do it. My conch will bring all the boys to the yard, and they're like, let's rally against the Pharaoh. Damn right. We rally against the Pharaoh. I could teach you, but then you have to work for the Pharaoh. I couldn't go anywhere with that. Look, you try to write a fucking hit song on the fly. Who are you supposed to be? You're all fancy? You got all those lyrics already? I know this is a freestyle. I'm not Black Thought. Who am I, Black Thought, spitting out a goddamn freestyle for 21 minutes? Look, I like Black Thought, and I love the Roots. But half of that's a lie. I know who Black Thought is, and I think he does a fine job within the Roots, but I was not familiar with a Black Thought solo. And then I watched him at Hot 96 or whatever the fuck he did his freestyle for 21 minutes or whatever the fuck it was. And I will say the technical achievement was amazing, but was it for me? No. So but I say to you now, as a freestyle, to watch a guy do 21 minutes off the top of his goddamn head and make it fucking work in the rap vernacular, goddamn, that worked. Because, look, I can do 21 minutes of freestyle, but it's not going to make a lot of sense. You're going to get a lot of Piggy with the conch and Khalees. That's how that bad things are for me. I mean, he's doing cogent political thought and then masquerading it within all sorts of analogies and things like that. And instead, you're going to wind up having me, and I'm going to sit here and talk about Khalees and Piggy with the conch and a woman from Pasadena who throws up. The little old lady from Pasadena, she vomited inside my car. Not really. I'm giving away the end of the story. All right, so here's what happened. I'm waiting for them to come out of the Sky Bar, and a couple of dudes come walking out, and there's one woman who's fine. She's walking very well on her heels. However, she's enlisted the help of a couple of gentlemen to help carry her fucking friend out to the fucking car. Because what better way to ring in 2018 when you're 50 than to get so fucking polluted you have to have a couple of strangers put their hands in your armpits and lift you above them. Jesus fucking Christ, grow the fuck up. I don't understand anybody. Because I don't drink. Look, I eat, all right? I get food drunk. We already talked about that. But I mean, I don't understand anybody who gets so fucking loaded that they're out of control of themselves. And especially ladies, what are you doing, man? I mean, I guess if you're buying drinks from a bunch of dudes who want to go ahead and try to ply you and get your Pasadena pants off, that's fine. But most of these chicks, I don't know why you would even bother putting yourself in a position where you couldn't help yourself or control yourself. Because you know what? You're just asking for trouble. You know why? Because fucking men suck. And I'm not saying you're not. Look, I'm not victim blaming. All right, if you want to, women want to go and get fucking polluted, that's fine. What I'm saying is, don't get polluted to the point where you're gonna vomit and you don't have any fucking. And this goes for dudes too. Don't lose control. Don't be in a position where you put yourself where you're not being able to fucking talk or walk or whatever the fuck, because inevitably there are people out there who will take advantage of you. I don't understand why you would put yourself in a position to be taken advantage of. Now, again, not victim blaming. People should see a drunk person in the gutter and go, man, that poor drunk person in the gutter, and try to help them. Or call a cab or an ambulance, whatever the fuck. Call a cambulance. I don't care. Call a cabulance. Right there. Get a fucking cabulance and get them to fucking take them away. I'm not victim blaming, but what I'm saying is if you put yourself in a position to be a victim, you're gonna wind up having bad shit happen to you, and you shouldn't do that. Always remain alert, remain frosty at all times. Don't fucking let your guard down. If you go, and this again, like I said, goes for men and women. Don't go out and have fucking 15 drinks and wind up in a place where you got to be rolled into a stranger's car because you don't know fucking thing about me. Hey, I'm cool. I'm a good guy, like I've said before. But there's a lot of fucking dudes out there who'll fuck you up or take your wallet or do some dumb shit or maybe fuck with your phone or take the opportunity to reach under your shirt. Fuck those motherfuckers. All those motherfuckers are bad guys. My point is, be ready to defend yourself against the bad guys at all times. And I hate that I have to fucking explain this. I think you understand what I'm saying, but I see everybody cannibalizing themselves online now. Oh, you're victim blaming. Oh, you're victim shaming. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're doing. I'm not. No, I'm not. Again, I've tried to live by the philosophy: be nice, be cool. That's it. And also, don't do dumb shit if you don't want dumb shit to happen to you. Dumb shit would be getting so fucking drunk you wind up vomiting all over yourself and getting put into a stranger's car. Because then dumb shit, you know what? You're leaving yourself open for dumb shit. That doesn't mean the guy doing it to you isn't a fucking scumbag. But at the same time, you're allowing yourself to be put in a position where bad things could fucking happen to you. And this would be the time where a former producer would go, well, you can't victim blame. I'm not victim blaming anybody. If you're a victim, you know what? Fuck, never mind. All right, so I'm spiraling off. So a couple of guys come out and they carry this chick out. They pour her into my fucking car. And like I said, one chick is sober. And then the other girl she's almost incoherent. And then the woman, and when I say chicks and women or whatever the fuck, these women are like 50 years old. They're older women. They're 45, whatever. They're adults, is my point. Because I get enough women in fucking mini skirts that are pulled up over their waist and they're walking to my car in a thong because they're so fucking drunk. I get that too. That happens a lot. Because women lose themselves a little bit when they get some drinks and they forget what their dress looks like. Just like a guy walking around with his fucking zipper open or whatever the fuck. You know, you just don't think. You're drunk. You're not fucking you're sloppy. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. So these two chicks get in my car. And the one girl, you know, they're okay. They're not mean, at least. But I even said when they pull her up to the fucking window, I go, no, she's too drunk. I'm not getting her in the car. And the one woman goes, no, please, we need to get home. And I go, I understand that, but look at her. She can't even fucking walk. I go, she gonna throw up? And the bouncer's like, look, we're just trying to get her out of here. I said, I understand that, but I can't have her in the car if she's sick. And they're like, oh, no, she's not sick. No, of course, everybody, because they just want to get her in the fucking car. It's just one guy getting his problem passed off to another guy. But then the woman looks at me, she goes, oh, no, she's not sick, I promise. She's just, you know, she had too much to drink and she didn't eat enough dinner. And I go, fine. I'm telling you right now, if she throws up in my car, it's $300. Okay, that's no problem. All right, I'm just letting you know, it's $300. If she yeah, that's fine. We just need to go. She's not going to throw up. So sure enough, they get in the back seat. I'm driving. I'm leaving, Hollywood to go to Pasadena. It's a 20-mile ride. So, and then the sober one starts telling me how to drive. Oh, you got to be in this lane. I drive this freeway every day. And I just wanted to go, oh, do you really? Do you? You drive this freeway every day? You do know you're in the car of the guy who drives for a living, unfortunately, right? And he has a map with a robot in it. So you're smarter than the robot and the guy who's in his car all the fucking time. And I don't give a shit if you want to tell me where the fuck to go. I don't care. Because again, you're paying for the ride, tell me where to go. And I don't fight with her. I just do what she does. But it just drives me crazy. I don't understand people. Oh, you should go in this lane. Go in the center lane. You should go in this lane. You should go, oh no, you should try to pass this car. Oh, should I? Should I try to pass this car? Thank you, driving coach. Thank you, Mr. Rumchak. Do you have brakes on your side of the fucking car too so you can stop the car in case they think I'm going too fucking fast? What the fuck, man? Hi, I'm fed up with the world. So she starts giving me all these introductions, and her friend is just moaning in the back seat. And then her friend will do that when she's incoherently, she's just like, when are we going home? Oh, we're going home, honey. We're almost home. Can I open the window? Yeah, open the window. We're on the freeway. I mean, it's 50 degrees outside. You probably need some cold air in your face. Let's do it. So she opens the fucking window, and I hear her back there, and she starts talking about getting sick. And I go, look, we're on the freeway. If she gets sick again, it's $300. She's like, oh my god, she's okay. She's not gonna be sick. And she's like, honey, the sober girl leans over. She's not even sober. She's got a few pops in her as well, but she's certainly not fucking pourable into a goddamn car drunk. And she literally, I hear her back there, honey, no, it's honey, it's okay. Just breathe. She's slapping her in the fucking face. I want to go, dude, that's like hitting the bottom of a ketchup bottle. You're trying to get her to fucking puke. That's what you're doing. She's like, oh, once I throw up, I'll feel better. And I'm like, don't you dare throw up. Don't you dare. And she's like, no, I'll tip you, I promise. And I go, it doesn't matter. If you throw up in the car, it's $300 flat. You want to tip me on top of that, that's fine. And because now I'm getting fucking mad. All right? Because, and I'm mad at myself because I took them in the fucking car because I don't like this situation. I don't want drunk women in my car, period, because you never know what the fuck's going to happen. Because again, and I don't say that, how do I put this? I don't want drunk people in my fucking car, but drunk women, I don't have a dash cam. So if anybody says the wrong thing or anybody tries to, I told you, I've been punched. I've had all sorts of people do dumb shit in my fucking car. But, two women who are drunk, who the fuck knows what's going to happen at this point? And especially if this chick pukes all over the fucking place, because then people will try to get out of the $300 by saying I was mean to them. Whatever the fuck. The whole world is shitty. The whole world is fucked, and they're all trying to get over on you. So I get off in Pasadena. I finally get off on the 5, and I get off on, I don't want to say where they live, but I'm driving. And I'm a mile from their house, and I swear to God, I'm on this particular street. I'm not on a freeway anymore. I'm on a regular street. It's a 4-lane, 2 going one way, 2 going the other. And she's had the window open. She's moaning and all that stuff. And then finally, I hear it. I fucking hear it. She goes, and her friend goes, "You need to pull over." I go, "I'm going 45. There's nowhere to pull over." She goes, "You need to pull over." She's gonna, and I literally, there was nobody coming toward me in the other 2 lanes. So I just I didn't even hit the brakes. I turned left over a double yellow line into a person's driveway. That's where I went. I pulled over because if you're telling me at that point, pull over, you got to pull over. I'm just doing it. I should have just stopped in the middle of the fucking road, but there were people coming behind me. So instead I fired off a fucking left, pulled into a driveway, and the drunk girl, I hear her, she's like, "Oh," and the one girl opens the window, or not the window, opens the door, and the chick leans outside. And she goes, "That's okay, honey. It's okay." And I hear her just dry heaving. And I'm like, "Oh, motherfucker." And dry heaving is one thing. But then she just fucking goes off. I mean, like a fire hose. Just blasts it all over the fucking ground. Her head, thankfully. And I look back and I go, literally one drop. I have to take photographs and report you guys. $300. And she's just like, "It's okay. Will you just leave her alone?" I go, "I'm not going to leave her alone. She's throwing up my fucking car." But luckily not in my car, but in the driveway of some stranger who has to wake up the next fucking morning and find the remnants of a sushi dinner and a bunch of wine. And it had that fucking, it smells like fucking liquor. It smells like high school is what it smells like. Fucking vomit and food and everything else and liquor, tequila and wine and whatever the fuck else she ruined herself with because she's 50 years old and can't control herself. And it took 5 minutes. I mean, she just like, blah, blah. She just wouldn't stop. I mean, just wailing. It threw up her body weight, for fuck's sake. At the end of it, she was a raisin. And it's just all over the driveway. And I personally couldn't believe the people didn't come out and yell at us. I mean, I would have. How the fuck did they not come out and fucking scream at us? But so I hand napkins back to a friend. I go, wipe her face. I go, literally, if there's any of it in the car, it's $300. It's just the way it works. Well, I wish you had a little more compassion. Well, I did tell you guys, and you assured me she wouldn't throw up. Well, we were almost home. I know you were almost home, but I'm not trying to be mean. I hope she feels fine. But you did tell me she wasn't going to throw up. We made sure that she wasn't going to. Well, yeah, I understand, but she got sick. It's what fine. I don't care. So she wipes her fucking face off, and they get back in the goddamn car, and I drive a mile. And then there's like, thank you, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm like, yeah, just be careful, and I let them out of the car. Let me ask you this, folks. Do you think they tipped? Of course not. Why would they do that? That would only pay for some humiliation that they'd experienced at the hands of me as I yelled at her. She vomited out of the car because it was my fault that she got so fucking loaded. And I hate to be the guy who cares about tips. I talked about it before when I worked at Baby Blues or the barbecue house. They fucking... if you're in a job where you rely on tips, it's fucked. You know what I mean? It just is. But I'll tell you what, even worse is if you work at a job, imagine if you were a waitress. Like the first vanguard of waitresses who never got tipped, and you were getting paid shitty, and you got no money because that's what Uber is. They've added tipping, but nobody tips. I've driven the past 2 weeks. I've made $20 in tips. Now this is, I've driven 80 people over 2 weeks easily. 80 different parts, and that's not 80. It's not 80 individuals. It's 80 groups. It could be 4 people, could be 2 people, whatever. And I've made $20 total in 2 weeks. And look, it's my fault because I wound up here. Certainly, the fact that I'm 50 years old and I'm driving a vomit cab is my own fucking fault. But still, you would think that some people would have some sort of. I mean, just have. I mean, when I get takeout food, I tip $2 or $3 to the woman doing the takeout food or the guy or whatever the fuck it is. You just do it. It's just a common courtesy. It's a nice thing to do. A standard tip on delivery is $5. It's just, we've talked about this a billion fucking times. You and I, us together, we've talked about this a billion fucking times. All right, so here's the deal, folks. So that happened. Well, how the fuck did I even spin off into that? I don't even know. Hey, you know what? Speaking to that point, let's do this real fast. Last week, I started to tell you a thing in the beginning of the show. I was like, I wasn't going to talk about this, and now I wind up having to talk about it because it just happened. And then I don't think I ever got to it, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to tell you this fucking story. Not that these are stories, right? These are more anecdotes from life. They're not long, drawn-out stories with a beginning, a middle, and an end. There was no end to that. The end of that was just they walked away and didn't tip. Yay! What a great resolution. What a fantastic story to start off the new year. So they fucking, they leave. All right, so here's the thing that happened last week. This is totally true. This fucking happened. I was on Twitter because that's what I do. And I read some guys who do some football stuff. There's guys who do Chicago Bears things, and there's accounts there. So anyway, the Bears a couple of weeks ago played the Cleveland Browns. All right. Because, this past week they played the Minnesota Vikings, and they wound up getting stomped. But 2 weeks ago they played the Cleveland Browns. So in the middle of the week, last week, Tuesday, when I did the fucking show, I was reading before I went on the air about some stuff about the Bears, and it was some guys talking about the Bears in Cleveland because, if you don't know, in the NFL, Cleveland is a laughingstock. They're a punchline. They're the worst team in football history. They're just a terrible team. And so these people out there were making fun of the Bears, and then other people are like, well, what about the Browns? The Bears just beat the Browns. And they're like, oh, that's nothing to be proud of, whatever. So I go to a couple of Bears accounts that I read, and they are very informative. They'll talk about, because there's a coaching change coming up, and they're talking about roster stuff and who the Bears are going to hire and what they're going to do. So I like immersing myself in that sort of thing. I find it informative and fun. So what's not informative and fun is anybody who responds to the Bears guys. Like the guys I read, they'll report Bears news or their Bears opinion. But then, unfortunately, Bears fans get to jump in there and say things and stuff like, you're stupid and the Bears suck and the Bears. Again, the whole world is just this. You ever see the movie Blue Velvet? I think Blue Velvet kind of invented where the world was going, and at least the internet. Because Blue Velvet is all about things not being as they seem. The thing where you can see a beautiful woman like Isabella Rossellini and you don't know the terrible fucking things that she's going through or the terrible things that she wants to go through, quite frankly. Everybody's got a Frank Booth. The internet is Isabella Rossellini, and then 4 clicks later you find Frank Booth. That's how the fucking internet works. It would have this, there was a great camera shot that he always did, was he would show a perfect, beautiful lawn. And the metaphor is not lost, certainly. But it would be this incredibly, perfectly, beautifully manicured lawn with a garden and flowers and everything. And then the camera would go underneath the lawn, and underneath into the dirt, you would just see ants. Hundreds of ants crawling all over one another and trying to fucking basically murder one another, because ants are ruthless. If you don't know that about them, they're a vicious species. And it was, that's the internet. It's this perfectly brilliant manicured lawn. And then 3 clicks later, you find the ants. So I'm reading about the Bears, and I'm reading information, and then 3 clicks later, there's a fight. Because the Bears have a rookie quarterback named Mitch Trubisky, who I really like. I enjoy Mitch. I'm excited for him and his work. But a lot of other people out there are like, the Bears suck, and this new quarterback sucks, and they suck, and they keep making shitty decisions, and they're fucked, and this team's fucked. And why do you care? Not even why do you care. Why do you watch football? Why do you watch the Bears? So quit. If you're going to do that, if all you want to do is bitch and be miserable, then what the fuck, man? Take a walk. And I know this is stupid coming from me, who all you want to do is bitch and be miserable. I'm not miserable, man. I'm not. I bitch because that's in service of what I do. You know what I mean? What if I came on here all day and it was like, everything's great, everything's the best. I had the best week of all time. You guys can get me at Mike and Mike Schmidt Comedy. I mean, I wind up half the time explaining who I am and what the fuck I do. It's so stupid. Fuck it. Maybe if it makes me a hypocrite, maybe it does. But I can't stand bitching. I can't. I've talked about this before, where social media is murdering me. I can't. I stay on Facebook and I stay on Twitter and those things. And I in 2018 in my head, I've been like, try not to hate read. You know what I mean? Because I used to hate read. There are people I specifically would look at their account and I would read it just to go, I hate you. Oh, what the fuck, man? What the fuck is wrong with you? But you can't do that. You got to. You know what? There's other more important. Fucking yawns. God damn it. There are other things out there that you can go ahead and read that are great. You know what I mean? There are things, there's works of art that I don't know about. There's languages I don't know. And that's what 2018, that's what I want it to be. I want it to go forward I have a list of things that I want to do and I want to accomplish. I want to change my life in a way that's meaningful. I want to actually take care of myself like an adult would. I mean, I've talked about this on the show before. I don't know if it's a theme that is repetitive or boring to you guys, but you've listened to me for 10 years and you know, I think that I've always been striving to be better. I want to try and be better, but I always wind up sabotaging myself. It's something I learn about every day when I talk to Shannon, or every day I talk to Shannon. But every day it's unveiled to me even more and more that I don't care for myself. I don't parent myself. I keep poison in my life, and I do those sorts of things, candy and junk food, and I wind up, everything just goes south, man, and you can't be that guy. So I'm trying to stop doing that. So here we are, where it's January 3rd. We have had no candy, no fast food, no soda, and that's the plan for this year. That no candy, no fast food, no soda. That's a 2018 thing. That's happening. I haven't been to the gym, but it's because John's been out of town, but also I could go myself, but I'm still getting a handle on that. I want to start cooking. I want to do, you don't give a fuck about all of the resolutions I have or what I want to do, but as I do the show, you'll hear more about them and you'll hear who I am as a guy and who I'm trying to become, what I want to be. And who I'm trying to become, it's not even who. I want to be me. I'm Mike, but I want to be adult Mike. I want to be a grown-up. I want to be someone who bed by 2, up by 10. It's this weird thing where I've been getting back into the old school. It's harder to do when I drive, because when I drive, I'm out until 4, 5, 6 in the morning driving. But I have to make a course correction there, because then if I do that, then I still have to get up by noon. And then the next day, I have to go to bed at 2 and get up by 10. On days I'm not driving, I need to be in bed at 2 and up by 10. I need to have a driving schedule, because it's too easy for me to put it off. So I have to take a couple days off, and then I have to drive the rest of the week, whether it's 5 hours one day and then 10 hours another day. I have to make it work. And then that will in turn bring me more money, and I'm able to do this, and then I can concentrate more on going on the road and doing stuff and going out and renting theaters and doing shows. And oh my God, I have a plan. I truly do. Believe it or not. Let's put it this way. I have hopes. And then I have to execute them. That's what I have to do. And one of them involves pulling away from social media and diving into these stupid fights and reading things like that. It's very difficult to do for me, because I've always had this brain that wants to know everything. I want to reel everything in. And then, but when you go online, there's such poison. There's such poison out there lurking for you. It's ridiculous. I mean, I will give you this example. Well, first of all, I will tell you this. I will make this assurance to you. I have a YouTube channel going forward. I have a YouTube channel. I hope you'll visit it eventually. But I can make you this promise right now. On my YouTube channel, the only suicide I will ever exploit will be my own. I make that promise to you in 2018. Never will you stumble onto my YouTube channel and see the suicide of anyone who is an innocent bystander or someone who doesn't have any control over the situation. Any suicide you see on my YouTube channel will be my own. How about that? Let's make that happen. And yes, I'm kidding. I'm never killing myself. I don't have it in me. I don't have any interest in it. I want to live. Just to get that out of the way now. But this week, Logan Paul, if you don't know who this person is, I don't even want to say his fucking name. Logan Paul is a YouTube star. And I can't even believe I'm saying those things. Think of that sentence. Logan Paul is a YouTube star. Logan Paul sounds like the villain in a Ski Lodge movie from the 80s. But you know what? Fuck that. He actually is. That's kind of who he is. He's just this fucking, I can't even explain it. He's just a white trash fucking idiot who's rich because he convinced young girls or whatever the fuck to watch him on YouTube, and he monetized YouTube, and I don't even know what he does. Honestly, he runs around with a selfie stick and a camera and he yells. I've seen some of it. He's got like a logo army or whatever. I don't even, again, I'm 50. I shouldn't even know this fucking guy's name. But this week, he puts out a video where he went to Aokigahara, which is the Japanese suicide forest at the base of Mount Fuji. And it's not a joke. It's truly a suicide forest. Like, people will go there. It's become a tractor beam for people who are trying to end their life or have given up hope. And to the point where the forest itself has, you can walk into the forest and get completely lost. It's said that you can walk so deep into the forest, you won't hear anything anymore. I mean, no sounds of the outside world will find you. And then you're lost. You might as well go in there if you're going to commit suicide, because you can never find your way out again. But there are counselors on the paths inside the forest trying to talk you out of going in there to do what you're obviously planning on doing. There are markers. People have set up like colored flags and string and ropes. And I have to be honest with you, I'm going to Japan at the end of the month. Not even. I'm going to Japan in 2 fucking weeks. And this was on my list. This was a place I wanted to go. Obviously, I want to see Mount Fuji, of course. But I'm not going to go in, deep into the suicide forest. But I wanted to go there to see its history and its majesty and its presence and its aura. And come on, look, there's not a lot of fucking suicide forests you can go check out. Now, was I hoping to find a body? Fuck no. I got no interest in that. But at the same time, to go and be in a place that is essentially, if you believe in this sort of thing, a holy place. It's a place people go to when they're so distraught, and so it's this will sound dumb. When I used to do stand-up early in my career, and by early I mean my first year, I would listen to Fade to Black by Metallica before I would go on stage. It would be like the last song in the car, or I would listen to it a couple times on my way to the gig. Because the bleakness of that song, because that song is about a guy, basically, it's a song about a guy killing himself. But the bleakness of that song inspired me with hope and made me want to do well, because I didn't want to wind up like the person in that song who had nothing. So when I had heard about Aoki Gahara, I in my head I was like, well, that's Fade to Black in a forest. I mean, it's and maybe I'm trivializing it. I don't mean to do that. I don't want to trivialize. That's what Logan Paul did. He went there because he heard it was spooky. He's wearing a fucking weird ass Pokemon hat, and then he stumbles into the forest, and they actually find a person who's hanged themselves. He finds a dead body, and I can't even imagine how overwhelming it would be to stumble into a situation where you found a person who had killed themselves. But I absolutely can't fathom how your next instinct would then be, well, fuck, we got to put this on YouTube. I mean, and maybe it's because his whole life has become about monetizing. Maybe it's because maybe it's because he could just be a fucking a pillowcase. He could just be a vapid, empty fucking shell. And it's all about clicks and money. And I understand that to a certain extent, because I don't claim to understand everybody. I don't. And look, I open up a fucking vein every week on here. I've sobbed about my divorce. I mean, I've put things that probably people thought were not appropriate on the air, but they were mine to share. I was vulnerable because it was mine to share. It was my situation. It was my pain that I was exposing or showing. This dude is in a fucking floppy hat, and he's laughing in what is essentially a holy place after they find a dead person. And I mean, that's just no empathy. That's just you're not cognizant of the world around you if you can't see somebody who's actually killed themselves and not realize that's not funny. That's a person who's absolutely given up. And just the not only the fact that they're dead, not only the fact that you've come upon them and disturbed their final resting place, but the fact that you could have so little respect for someone who obviously had fallen so deep into despair that the only way out they saw was death, when we all have an inherent fear of death, don't we? And then you laugh about it in your parka and your floppy hat, and you joke about it, and your friend says he doesn't feel well, and you're like, "Why? You never seen a dead guy before?" Ha! And look, I've talked about, because he puts out a video to apologize, and he's like, "This is my way of using humor to deflect my real emotions," and I get that, because like I said, I've never been funnier than I am at a wake. I've never been funnier, but here's the difference. I'm not funny at the casket. I'm funny in the lobby, because I know what I'm facing and I don't want to go in. And like, if he's on the lip of the forest, if he's outside, he's like making jokes and cracking up and being funny. I get it, because you're about to go through a really weird, fucking scary thing, and you're thinking to yourself, well, this is my defense mechanism, is humor. But if you actually go into this reverent place and you unfortunately stumble upon somebody who's dead, and your first instinct is to joke about it and make goofs and be like, "Oh my God, everybody, Logan Army, this is fucking amazing. You've never seen this on YouTube." Oh, dude, and I know he's going to hide under, "I'm a reporter," or I'm just trying to entertain. I mean, but that's the problem now. Everybody's trying to entertain. Everybody. And that's why I talk about, when I say Twitter, the ants underneath the fucking surface. Everybody got jokes. Everybody got jokes. Everybody's going to step up and tell you what they think and how they feel and how funny everything is and isn't this fucking hilarious. And everybody wants to give no fucks. Everybody wants to say, you mad, bro? And I think I've dealt with this on the show before, and I apologize because it's a recurrent theme in my life. Yeah, I am mad, bro. I'm mad. I'm worried. I'm upset. You know, I see this dude put out a YouTube video with a dead person, and I'm not supposed to care. What the fuck does it mean? It doesn't affect me in the least, okay? It doesn't. But at the same time, just common human decency, you see it and you go, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you think that was the right thing to do? Why would you ever think that exposing someone's final pain was the proper thing to do and that there was anything funny about it? Now, look, I say a bunch of inappropriate shit. I know. This might paint me as some weird hypocrite, I guess. I don't know. I don't think it does. I mean, I know who I am as a person, and I know I wouldn't be making sport of some dead person. I like I said, I'm funny at a wake, but I'm funny in the lobby. The second I go in, I'm reverent and I'm quiet, and I realize what the fuck I'm facing. It's because I don't want to deal with it, because when I was a kid, I had to fucking deal with it, and I didn't like it. So as an adult, as a grown-up, and not even as a grown-up, as an older person, that's how I choose to deal with it. Now, going forward, maybe in 2018, at the age of 50 and wanting to be a different person, wanting to be an adult, maybe I deal with it differently. Maybe I don't become that guy. Or maybe I double down and I just am even funnier at a fucking wake. Don't die. I don't want to find out. That's the point. I don't want to go to another fucking wake in my life. But when I see this guy, and even, so this is the thing, even worse, he puts that out, and then, you know, of course, then the ants show up. That's the surface. That's the internet. He puts out this video and he's laughing, and look, clearly, that's wrong. What he did was wrong. There's no argument. Filming the spooky forest, whatever the fuck. I understand all that stuff. But when you find the dead person, you don't put it out there. You don't exploit it. I don't give a fuck if you blurt out their face. I don't give a fuck. And you certainly don't include yourself laughing in the video, because now you're just asking for fucking trouble. But you know what? He doesn't fucking care. It's clicks and money and irreverence. Everybody's in a contest to prove how much they don't fucking care. And it's destroying everything. It's destroying everything. It just is. I see, and I don't want to just say young people, because old people are the same way now. Because anybody with a voice, all social media people, they're inured to criticism. They get all deflected. They can all go, whatever, fuck you, man. Everybody has that attitude that because everybody has a voice, so then everybody has to shout that voice down. It's ants. They're all climbing all over one another. They're just, and they're brutal, and they're killing one another. And they're doing it verbally, but at the same time, what they're killing is discourse. What they're killing is humility. What they're killing is empathy. It's just not out there anymore. And it's frightening to me to watch unfold. And like I said, I'm 50. I don't have any kids, so I don't have to worry about the world that's being left behind, but I do have my godson, and I have basically my niece, Ava, and all of my friends' kids, and my nieces and nephews. I don't know what's going to happen. It's funny. This is a funny story. One of my nieces had an Instagram. She has an Instagram, and she followed me on Instagram, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then I saw something that might have been questionable on her Instagram. I don't want to get into it, but she's a young girl. And it was kind of an inappropriate thing. And it's weird for me to say anything is inappropriate, but as an adult, I recognized it, and I went, this is probably bad for a young girl to have online. It wasn't a photo of her or anything like that. It was phrasing or something that was written. So I waited a day or two, and then finally I contacted my brother, and I said, hey, look, I think this is her, but I just need to know, and I don't know because I'm being purposely vague, okay? Because I don't need you guys fucking, because it's gone now, but whatever. But the point is, I told Lenny, I go, look, I don't know if I should tell you this, but this happened, and this is why, and he went and looked at it, and he's like, yeah, that's a problem. And within an hour, it was fixed. And then he wrote me, and he's like, look, don't ever be afraid. You're their uncle. Don't ever be afraid to tell me something like that, because I got to step on that right when I fucking see it. That's the whole point. I don't have eyes everywhere. So if you see something, by all means, tell me. But it was honestly, for me, it was a moment where I went, Jesus Christ, look how vulnerable a 13-year-old girl could be. Because she doesn't realize what she's doing. Again, I've said this before. When we were little, my brother Lenny wrote a note to a girl, Kim, in our neighborhood, and she wrote, "I want to make love to you." He wrote that to her when he was like 11 or 12. And her parents came over to talk to my mom, and they go, "What the fuck is with this note?" My mom looked at it. She's like, "What the fuck is with this note?" You know, because they know what that means. But when you're 12, you know what the fuck that means. So you need parents and adults to step on your fucking neck eventually and go, "Hey man, what the fuck are you doing? You can't do this kind of stuff." And especially us, because we had no parents. We had no, you know, my mom's working, so we had nobody in the house. We're smashing peanuts and jumping off fucking roofs. So we're a bunch of feral animals anyway. So when Lenny writes that fucking note, he's just going by what he thought he was supposed to say. And so eventually you need an adult figure to come in. But the problem is there's no more adults, man. It's certainly not online. There's no adults online to come in and tell anybody they're behaving incorrectly. And it wouldn't matter if they did, because nobody fucking listens. Because everybody's like, who are you to tell me that? Where's your authority? There's no experts. That's another thing. Expertise has been destroyed. I watched an argument last week. This is fucking true. I saw an argument between a woman who was saying that there's a dinosaur, like a plesiosaur, I don't know, some fucking swimming dinosaur. She claimed it was real. She said it still existed. And a guy was like, so wait a minute, you really believe this dinosaur still exists? And this woman is on Twitter, and she's like, yeah, I did a lot of research when I was 12 and 13. There's no way it could be done. And so people are like, well, how? Where does it survive? They go, it's in the ocean. At least 1/3 of the ocean has never been explored. Believe me, this is where this creature lives. So then she starts fighting with 3 people on Twitter. And the people are like, listen, we're telling you there's no way this could exist, because as a predator, we would see a decrease in its natural enemies, and also there would be a decrease in the population of the other fish. I mean, all these scientific facts. And literally, this person their answer was, LOL, yeah, right. That's their answer. And then the people are trying to convince her, and she goes, look, I've done the research on this. I don't know why you're trying to fight with me. And they go, we are literally 2 of the leading marine biologists, scientists in the world. And it was, you look at their Twitter, they're brilliant. They're 2 brilliant marine biologists. Their lives have been in pursuit of discovering species in the ocean. And they're telling her what's up. And she's like, well, the government tells you guys to say that sort of thing. So, and she meant it. She meant it. She wasn't. Nobody's wrong. Nobody can go back and go, well, I fucked that up. You're probably right. You guys who spent a lifetime studying the ocean, you probably know a little bit more than me, who lives in Arkansas, landlocked fucking Arkansas, and has only seen the ocean on television, but you can tell me what's up. And I'm astonished by it, and I'm disheartened by it, and it makes me just want to retreat and run. Like I've talked about hiding under the fucking coats. I want to hide under the coats. I want to hide under the blankets. I want to hide under fucking everything, because the ants will get you. They're out there. They will fucking chew you up and fucking spit you out. And even if you have the facts on your side, they don't care. Facts don't matter anymore. And that's why I don't understand why people don't see how dangerous it is when idiot fucking tweets out dumb shit. Everybody's just like, haha, it's just, well, come on, it's just like almost like performance art at this point. No, fuck him. He's dangerous. I know some of you have voted for him because you all wrote me and you've all said, hey, look, when your show gets political, I will just say this, warning, topical, okay? Warning, topical. It's probably a little late to spoiler alert it, but motherfuckers, I can't, how can you still support him? How can you still back this fucking idiot? He is a danger. He is a problem. He is going to ruin everything. He's just going to continue doing it. And also, look, it's not just him. It's all of these motherfuckers. It's Pence and McConnell and Ryan and every one of these cocksuckers who voted for this tax cut. And look, I'm not going to come at you with the tax cut. I don't fucking know that much about it. I try to pay my taxes, and that's all I fucking concern myself with. I don't know if it's going to help small businesses or it's not going to help small businesses, because again, online, you don't fucking know, because once the ants get involved, I don't know what's real and what's not. I have an echo chamber of people that I listen to that I respect and that I like, and they tell me that the taxes are going to be fucking bad for America and middle-class families. But then you get all this other propaganda bulldozer bullshit, and they tell you, no, you're wrong, and here's the reason why, because didn't you see that AT&T gave a bunch of bonuses? But then the next day, AT&T lays off 80,000 people. And I'm like, fuck, I don't, and you wonder why I hide in my house and I watch Cannon? You wonder? And we all have that instinct, but we all can't. We got to move on. We got to go on. So I need to find an avenue to go on and not fucking absorb myself into this bullshit. The root cause of this, as I mentioned, all the ants on the internet, and you read and they argue, that woman arguing with the marine biologists, but dude, this happened again. So I'm reading the Bears. Okay, I'm reading the fucking Bears. And some guy writes, because again, I'm a Trubisky guy, and a Cleveland fan writes to one of the Bears guys that I follow, and he said, Kaiser is much better than Trubisky, same guy, just with not as good a personnel or better coaching, whatever. Deshaun Kaiser is a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He's also a rookie. The Bears drafted Mitch Trubisky, traded up to get him, and Deshaun Kaiser was drafted in the second round. So a lot of people are like, the Bears traded up and they could have gotten Deshaun Kaiser for the same amount of money. But the thing is, in my opinion, Trubisky is much better than Deshaun Kaiser. I'm glad they made the move. And then this year, you watch Deshaun Kaiser, you realize, yeah, He's not as good as Trubisky. He's also a little immature. He's also been thrown into a situation that he shouldn't be in right now, and he's throwing interceptions, and he just doesn't look like a very good quarterback. And he looks like he makes the wrong decisions, and he looks panicked, and he's also immature off the field, and he goes out drinking until 2 a.m, whatever the fuck. I'm glad the Bears did the thing that they did. So then this guy jumps in, and he's like, Kaiser's better than Trubisky, and you'll find that out. Whatever. It's his bullshit opinion. He's just trolling because he's a Cleveland fan, and he's looking to fight. Because, again, ants. So sure enough, all the Bears fans take the fucking bait. Oh, delete your account. This is the stupidest take ever. And this is the thing. Everybody uses the same meme and they think they're clever. Everybody uses that, like the fucking, that is the dumbest speech I've ever heard. And we're all stupider for hearing it. The fucking thing from Billy Madison or whatever the fuck. I don't even know what it's from. But people use that or use the GIF, the Jennifer Lawrence GIF with the jerk off hand. I mean, everybody uses the same things and they all think they're being fucking clever. They all think they're fucking spot on. And you're just like, man, have you ever had an original thought in your life? No. You know why? Because they're on here arguing about the Bears quarterback against the Browns quarterback in a fight. And not just in a fight, not like, well, I think Trubisky does better because of statistics. They're like, fuck you, you faggot. I mean, like literally, that's the level of discourse when the ants get involved. But sure enough, I'm reading it and they're all yelling him, delete your account. You're stupid. You're a jerk. You're dumb. You're a dumb face. You're a mud boy. I mean, all this dumb nonsense. And then sure enough, there's a guy. He's a Bears fan. Now, I should tell you this. The Cleveland fan who made this argument is an African-American gentleman. He's black. DeShone Kizer, also black. Now, like I said, I'm reading everybody going, you're stupid, delete your account. This is the dumbest thing I've ever read. You don't know football. You used to turn in your man card. All this fucking horseshit of everybody yelling at one another underneath the surface. The ants are killing one another. And out of nowhere, a Bears fan comes in and He doesn't even argue the fact. He doesn't argue Browns are worse, the Bears are better, Trubisky's better. There's no facts at all. This guy doesn't do anything. This guy just comes in. It's in the middle because I'm reading all of this, and this is my own fault. I shouldn't be reading it. I should be learning Spanish. I should be reading the stack of books I got on my fucking chairside table. I should be reading self-help books and getting better. But instead, I immerse myself in this garbage. I poke holes in myself and I marinate in this fucking bile. And I can't anymore. But I do. And that's the thing I'm trying to do in 2018 is extricate myself from this. And look, I've been thinking about it for months and thinking of a way to stop doing it. But then I will wind up, unfortunately, like I said, I'll hide in my apartment. I'll read the internet like a book. It's ridiculous. I have to stop. I have to. And there's other reasons why, because I had hope and relationships and things. And I was like, all right, well, these are going to work. And then when they don't work, you wind up withdrawing within to yourself. And so I wind up being that person. But I need to be better. I need to leap out of that. So, but ants, man, ants just will fuck you up. So sure enough, these dudes are like, you suck, Bears suck, Browns are better, your quarterback, whatever. And out of nowhere, a Bears fan just types the word nigger. That's it. One word. No, Bears are better. No, Browns suck. No, literally, Nigger. That's all he types. He may have put a period. I mean, like literally just to go ahead and let you know exactly what he thought of this entire discussion. I see a lot of that. All right, we see a lot of garbage on the internet. We see it happen. I see a ton of fucking garbage, a ton of sexist bullshit. Every poor woman who put out the Me Too hashtag had to get fucking dragged by some nobody who hid behind a fucking weird Chiron or whatever the fuck, or an AVI or picture, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't even know. And anyone who's ever been brave enough to open up and say something about, well, this happened at work, and then they get fucking beaten down. Women get treated so poorly on the internet. Fucking everybody gets treated poorly on the fucking internet. It's terrible. But this guy just wrote that word. And I have to admit, it stopped me fucking cold. It stopped me cold. I see a ton of garbage. I see people arguing. I see people pointing fingers and yelling at one another and making fun and saying stupid things and dumb memes and all this shit over and over and calling people cunts. And I see it all the time because it's the internet. That's what the internet does. The ants just climb all over one another. But holy fuck. That word just stopped me cold because it made me just go, whoa. What's inside you that made you think that was the proper move here? I understand the guy who typed his opinion was black, and I understand the quarterback of the Browns is black. Is that what you're trying to say? Because it doesn't even get to the heart of that or the root of anything. Literally, he just states the word. He didn't yell it. He didn't go, "You're a dumb this." He just typed the word. And it just was this fucking speed bump on any discourse at all. But I apologize. Let me take that back. It should have been a speed bump on any discourse at all. But the argument just continued. Like everybody just kept fighting beneath him and ignored it. Nobody said to him, "Hey, what the fuck is your problem? This is the way to go." But again, it doesn't. And I know why they didn't. Because it's the internet, and that's what people will say. Because he'll just go, "Oh, you mad, bro? Oh, you get how many fucks do you have left to give?" All that horseshit. It's just trolling nonsense and garbage, and everybody thinks it's funny to trigger people and snowflakes and libteers and libtards, and I mean, it's all a mess. Do you have any hope left? I don't. I just don't. And I hate to be that guy. Like I've talked about it before, where I've just withdrawn into myself. I need to make myself better. I need to try to make the world around me better. I have to be nice. I don't know what change I can affect, but I know I can change myself. That, it's funny. I was ashamed of myself. I heard Inside Job by Pearl Jam the other day. It's a fucking amazing song. And the lyrics are, well, first there's a thing before it called Life Wasted. And he says, "I've tasted a life wasted. I'm never going back again. I faced it, a life wasted. I'm never going back again. I escaped it, a life wasted. I'm never going back again." And then there's a song called Inside Job on the same album. And the line is, "How I choose to feel is how I am." It was the chorus. Now, those lyrics all mean quite a bit to me. They must, because I actually used them when I went on the road in 2011 and 2012. They were the epilogue to the one-man show, which you can actually see on YouTube. I don't know if the music cues are in that one. I think they are. But after this really harrowing story at the end, I stopped down and I played Life Wasted. And then underneath me, Inside Job played as a bed as I got out of there. And I heard those songs the other day and I was furious at myself. Because the end of the one-man show was, "I've faced a life wasted and I've tasted a life wasted, but can I escape a life wasted? I don't know." Well, here we are 5 years later, and I'm not. And I haven't made the efforts needed to escape a life wasted. I've faced it, and I've tasted it, and I still marinate in it a little bit. But I'm not making the right moves to become an adult and a grown-up and move past childhood nonsense, move past things that certainly have been ingrained inside me for 50 years. But you need to move on. You need to grow up. You need to be that guy who grabs himself by the fucking lapels or the bootstraps or whatever the fuck. If I wore shirts with lapels or boots, you gotta look in a mirror and go, "Man, you got books to read. There's life to live. There's air to breathe. There's trees to see. There's pools to swim in. There's beaches and oceans and birds and happiness. And it's all out there, man. It's all fucking out there. Just go avail yourself of the self-medication available to you. You don't need to dive into a pill bottle. You don't need to fucking cry. You don't have to have chocolate bars. I have a pool outside. I could swim every day. I could go into the sun. I could do these things. I could make it happen. I could get off the fucking computer. And it's funny because I've talked about this before that, the internet has given me a career. The only reason you guys know who I am is because of the internet. I mean, in the old days, you used to have to get on TV and all that stuff, and you wouldn't have known me. What, are you going to know me from Funniest Pets and People? You going to know me from fucking Funny Money? No, I was on Funny Money once. I was a writer on it. Who the fuck cares? You're not going to know. You're going to know me? You're going to know me from jokes about fucking cockatiels? No, you're not going to fucking know that. You only know me because Jimmy Pardo put me on the air. And look, would things have changed in the ensuing 10 years? Could I possibly have been discovered? I don't know. I don't know with my work ethic. I don't know if I would have put myself in a position to succeed. Because I have consistently sabotaged myself. It still happens. It still happens. But 2018 is when I want to try to stop. I want to make the right decisions. And I want to make grown-up decisions. I want to do the things that you're supposed to do. I don't want to be one of the ants. So this guy types this word, and I see it, and it freezes me. It fucking freezes me. And even worse, like I said, is nobody calls him to task on it. And I don't do this. You know I don't fight with ghosts on the internet. I just recently blocked a guy on my Facebook page who came in and started talking a bunch of shit because he's talked shit to me for 2 fucking years. And I just went, I'm done. I can't. I'm not going to fight with this ass fuck. So I just blocked him. I block people. There's no reason to dive into, again, instead, there's that meme about when you fight on the internet, you know, it doesn't, I'm not going to get into it because it's got another word you can't use anymore. The Special Olympics one. And rightfully so, you know what I mean? But I mean, even I don't know where I stand. I want to get back to doing stand-up. It's funny. I want to get back to doing stand-up this year. Yesterday, there was a thread on my Facebook about someone saying it was a big fight about people being banned from open mics. And it's because, hey, if I ban you from my open mic, it's because you can go peddle that racism and sexism somewhere else. And then all these other comics are like, yeah, man, absolutely. You don't need to listen to your racism. And if it's your open mic, you can decide who goes on and who doesn't. Yeah. And I literally took a screenshot. I sent it to Pat. I go, I'm trying to do stand-up more in 2018. This is what I'm running into. This is what I'm going to run into. Now, do I think I'm politically incorrect? Do I think I'm a guy who's going to be banned from an open mic? I hope not. I don't think so. I don't know. But I also don't want open mic people tell me what I can and can't say. But the problem is, unfortunately, you get guys like this motherfucker who type the word nigger and they think they're funny. They think that's comedy. That's what I mean when I say that there are no arbiters anymore. That's good because it gave me a career, but it's bad because it's got a bunch of other ass fucks who think they're funny and doing things and showing dead bodies and making millions of dollars off of it. It's the wild fucking West. It's funny, I told you Gio was like, dude, you should do some video movie reviews. You should do you should have reviewed Star Wars. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be another voice in the void just shouting out and going, I thought this. They ran out of gas. I mean, I who cares? Like because I know, let's put it this way, I know how I feel. I feel who cares when I see all those fucking people. But in reality, that's my job. I mean, unless I want to be driving around vomiting Pasadenans forever, I need to find a way to do this. And I will. I should. I can. Will I? Who knows? And are you bored of hearing me do this? I don't know, man. I got no fucking idea. All I know is I want to change in 2018 for the better. And I see the ants. I don't want to be an ant. I don't. I just don't. These motherfuckers are climbing all over one another just to fucking make fun of it. Just to prove what? So I don't fight with ghosts. But I saw that word and it fucking froze me. And I go, fuck this. I can't let this go. Because again, what am I going to gain by yelling at him? Hey man, that's wrong. They don't give a fuck. He knows it's wrong. That's the whole reason he did it. So he can trick one person into telling him it's wrong. And so he can go, oh, you triggered, Snowflake? Fucking die. Seriously, die. Jump into a Scrooge McDuck-sized pile of fucking razor blades. I apologize. Dive into a Scrooge McDuck swimming pool-sized filled with razor blades. God damn it. Because you know what? Fuck it. It'll work. Dive into a Scrooge McDuck size pile of razor blades. I don't give a fuck. That's got to be 3 feet of razor blades. Dive in. Do some damage to yourself. But I saw that word and I was like, fuck, I can't. I can't. So I reported him to Twitter. Now, I don't do that. Like I said, I don't report anybody. I don't know the fucking logistics of it. But I finally went, I can't just see that. I cannot. If anything, for the guy he wrote it to, who might not have even read it, I don't know. But it's a tiny blow. It's a small kick at the base of a pyramid of hate. Will it open a crack in the foundation? Certainly not. But it's what I have to do. Just like if I was in a bar and I saw a guy hassling a girl, it's just like whenever I pick up a woman on a pool ride and I say to her, listen, we're picking up a guy. So if you want him to sit in the front, tell me and I'll make sure he does. But also, if he starts giving you a hard time, use my name. My name is Mike. Say, Mike, turn the heat up or Mike, turn the radio up. I go, I'm not your dad, so I don't want to jump in and just immediately try to defend you. But if you need me, use my name. But don't say, Mike, help me. Say, Mike, can we turn the radio up? And I'll know that you want me to get involved. And more often than not, women are grateful for that. They see me and they're just like, well, that's really thoughtful of you. And I go, it's just... honestly, it's better for both of us because I don't want to sit here and listen to you be hit on uncomfortably for fucking 20 minutes. I just don't. And what's funny is there are women who'll be like, no, that's okay. And then a guy will get in and he'll hit on them uncomfortably for 20 minutes. And the woman will deal with it. And I'll just sit there. But they know that if they need me, they can say my name. But the women deal with it. And I get that. But also seeing it firsthand so many times, just seeing the naked aggression that guys have in front of me Probably because they think, well, he's another guy, man. He gets it. Well, no, I don't get it. I think you're a fucking slob. But you know what? I'm not going to jump into white knight for some woman if she doesn't want me to. I've already given her the speech. And let's put it this way. 98% of the time, they've said thank you. And if they need me, they'll say something. The other 2% of the time, it's uncomfortable. I don't like it. Because again, I do it for me. It's like I'm doing it for the woman as well because I want to make sure that she's okay. But also, you're in my car. I want to make sure you're safe and you feel safe. But if people have been drinking, all the fucking shit goes out the window. But that's the point, is you have to strike a blow when you can. You know, if I saw somebody getting hit in a bar, I'd jump in. You just do it. It's the right thing to do. I'm the Wilford Brimley. You guys are Hans and I'm Wilford Brimley. It's the right fucking thing to do. I will swoop in and try to help, you know, just so you feel like you did something. So I reported this guy. And I've never done it before, so you got to click a thing, and then Twitter asks you a bunch of questions. They're like, you know, what did they do? Who is this person? I don't know. And then it has a thing, and it says, why are you reporting this person or this comment? And you have to type it in a box. And I mean, you can see why. Look at what I just reported. Doesn't it answer its own question? So instead, I literally just typed, come on. It's hate speech, and it speaks for itself. And that's all I wrote. But I literally wrote, come on. Like, why are you asking me this? And I submitted it. Now, this happened last Tuesday before I went on the air. It happened in the morning. And then I was sitting down to do the show in the afternoon, and I checked my emails about a half hour later. 45 minutes. And it just said, we have resolved your conflict on Twitter. It was from Twitter. I got it from their whatever the fuck, they're the lords of Twitter, whoever the fuck that is, Jack. He wrote me. And I opened up the thing, and it said, thank you for your recent report. It has been duly noted. We have gone and investigated, and we've realized that this does not violate our terms of service. But thank you again. If you want to avoid this person, you can block them or mute them. That's a very... And I'm what the fuck? Are you kidding me? That doesn't violate your terms of service. You're serious. That does not. That one word by itself, that doesn't violate your terms of service. He wrote it to an African American person in a discussion about an African American football player. That doesn't violate your terms of service. And it just convinced me even more. I got to get the fuck out of this. Like, I mean, if they're not, because look, other people, they report Trump every time he does something. There's another thing that people do, and it drives me fucking crazy. The people who pretend to be hurt or pretend to be offended by stuff, that drives me out of my fucking skull. Trump yesterday tweeted a thing about fucking North Korea, about how he's got a bigger button than fucking Kim Jong-un. What the fuck? What is wrong with you? You fucking sundowning creep. What a fucking monster. And he writes that. And then people are like, Jack, this is violence against people. He's advocating violence. We need to block his... You're never going to block his fucking account. And also, don't make a public show of you trying to get his fucking account pulled, because it's never going to fucking happen. Because now, you know what? Now you're just the ants above ground. That's another thing I hate, is when the resistance people are like, we've got to take out Trump, and we've got to do... And then they're all funny. Everybody tries to be funny. There's no gravitas anymore. It's either... And look, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just sick of it. But the people are either overly dramatic or they're quippy. Like, nobody just deals with anything anymore like a normal person. Everybody has to have their fucking jokes because everybody got jokes. Or everybody writes a fucking 28-thread tweet storm and goes on and on. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is wrong with everybody? Who has the time? But I say that, and yet I'm reading it all. I'm reading all this shit. I'm not taking the time to fucking type it. I got to stop. I'm no longer an ant. In 2018, no more ants. That's it. That's the fucking rule. You guys, let's not be ants. Let's be the grasshopper, I suppose. Wasn't that another thing I talked about before? I was like, because you know what? Because the ants used to be the good guys. And yeah, the ants and the grasshopper, they were the good guys, man. Instead, you got these people all coming out and jumping on one another and killing each other. And I got fucking Logan Paul in the haunted fort in Aokigahara showing dead bodies and laughing about it. I got Trump talking about how he's going to nuke Korea, and Korea talking about how he's going to... Dudes, you know who's in the middle of all this? You know what the common denominator for Trump and Korea and Logan Paul is? Japan. And I'm going to Japan in 2 fucking weeks. It's been a lifelong dream of mine to go to fucking Japan. Let me tell you something. If you fuck this up for me, Logan Paul and Trump, I will, you know what? I'll ant the shit out of you guys. I'll find you and fuck you up, man. There's no way. There's no way you're going to do this. I mean, because again, North Korea might bomb them or they just to prove a point. And Trump's going to laugh about it. I mean, if you were in Japan, you'd be freaking the fuck out. Well, guess what? I'm going to be there in 2 weeks. And what's going to happen? I'm going to be there and I'm going to fucking get bombed because that's what happens. You know what? Wouldn't that be fitting? Wouldn't that be great? Actually, that seems like the final solution to this entire goddamn show. That's probably the wrong choice of words, actually. I talk about how I won't exploit any suicide on the air except for my own. Well, I'm not going to have to because Trump's going to fucking go to North Korea and bombing Japan while I'm there. And then me and Ahmad are going to fuse together in some sort of weird fucking zombie guy. It's going to be terrible. But yet I'm going to still try to come at you guys. Oh, dude, what the fuck happened? What happened? So Twitter says that's not against their terms of service. Are you kidding me? That word's not against your terms of service? So then I go back and because I can't believe it. So I go back to the discussion about DeShone Kizer and the Bears and the Browns. And I start scrolling down and I find the guy's post. And this is, I swear to God, this is true. I swear to God, this is true. His post now says, nigga what? Nigga, comma, what? Question mark. Now look, I know what I saw. Okay. I know that word. Believe me, I'm familiar with that word. I'm familiar with the hard R on that word, changing the meaning for everybody. I'm also familiar with the idea that you can't edit on Twitter. You can't go back and change anything. If you make a typo, you've got to fucking erase it and retype something. But this was his post from 2 days, because it was from 2 days prior. It was on Sunday night or Monday morning. So it was 1 day or 2 days prior. So it was not, he could not go back and change it. He could not. He could not change the body of that tweet because you cannot edit tweets. However, Twitter can change it. That's the only solution I have. I think Twitter may have gone back, found it, and then changed it to nigga what instead of the original slur. And that is scary as fuck. Thinking that they can go in and alter your words, because you know what? If they can change that to nigga what, they can go change nigga what back if you've got that in a post and hang that around your neck. But I scrolled through it because I couldn't find the original one, and this had to be it. And Twitter, the only way it gets changed if Twitter changes it. That's the only way. So I think they must have gone back and seen it, and rather than deal with banning somebody who had 2,000 followers or whatever, or dealing with the hassle because they get so many reports all the goddamn time, I think they probably just edited it. And that's some dystopian Big Brother fucking bullshit. Big Brother? You can't. And that really brought it home for me in sharp relief, where I went, Jesus Christ, they can do whatever they want. And I'm not tinfoil hatting it. I'm not like, ooh, they're taking over the world or boo-hoo or whatever. But you know what? If they can change that guy to nigga what, they can go in and soften a Trump tweet or make it more aggressive or they can do anything they want with those words, because so many people, so many ants are on there fighting and writing things to one another that they can control the narrative. They can change my words, your words. They can do anything they want on that website. And I'm sure that's something that you click when you sign up. It probably isn't like they have the right of editorial content. I'm sure it's on there. But the very fact that they would change that word rather than ban the guy, does that speak to inherent racism in the company? Does that speak to a company that's just lax and doesn't want to get rid of any people who use the service? I don't know. But it showed me that I need to get out of there. That I can't live on that service, that I can't sit there and hang the fuck around. And then part of me, am I crazy? Because that's another thing. That was a weird gaslighting thing to change it, because I know what I saw and I reported it. There's clearly, there's a record of it. I absolutely reported it. I have the email. But the fact that now, look, I would never report nigga what as fucking hate speech because I know someone's just being stupid. But so then it reflects on me. Am I crazy? Did I do something wrong? Did I read the wrong thing? No, I got news for you. I've seen that word. I know what it looks like. But then in my head, I went, well, wait a minute. Does my computer have, was there a weird Twitter filter where it changed it?
And then I went, oh my God, what the fuck is that now? Because then you start really questioning it. Like, not only did Twitter change it, but did Apple change it? Did my computer see that word and then fix it, or make me see that word? Like, do I have some sort of They Live glasses that make me see that word everywhere? Because then when it's gone, I don't know what the fuck's going on, because I think Twitter changed it, but that sounds crazy. But the only other option is I'm crazy and I read the wrong thing, and fuck that. So now this whole thing is just a Hardy Boys book. Now I got to deal with the case of the disappearing nigger, and I don't know how to fucking handle that. Don't be ants. Stop being ants. Let's all be Frank Booth instead. You thought I was going to go with Rossellini? Fuck that. You guys, some of you guys can be Rossellinis, but this world needs Rossellini's just like it needs Frank Booths. You know what it doesn't need? Fucking ants. And now it's dark. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old boy. It's baked into the plug. Jesus. Yeah, follow me on there. God knows. I look forward to everybody changing everything everybody's wrote to me. All right, so follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old boy. I'm also at Instagram and Snapchat. See, the thing is, again, without an internet, I don't have a fucking career. And I recognize that, and I respect it, and I honor it, and I'm in awe of it. I'm in awe of this monolith. And I'm in service to it. But there's nothing you can do. I mean, because if I leave it, I got nothing, man. If I leave it, I'm cleaning up Pasadena vomit off somebody's driveway. Follow me at Snapchat and Instagram. Be my friend on there. Follow me, send me snaps and stuff. I'm Mike40YOB over there. Mike40YOB. Please remember that Ryan Dirks does all the web stuff for this show. He's the coolest. Find him at Facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. Go ahead and be his pal. And remember our friend Gio, superfan Gio, not superfan of me, but superfan of others, certainly. Gio's the man. He's our guy. And you can find him it's at Facebook.com/Giovanni Giorgio Peluso. He does all the hard work for us regarding, the YouTube channel. He puts up all the YouTube stuff every week, and he's the best for that. Thank you, Gio. I appreciate all of your incredibly hard work. He has several different podcasts out there. Podgods is the one that I know of for sure. He also does all the Loveline stuff out there, and you can follow him at Twitter. I believe he's Superfan Gio, possibly, or Gio on it. Fuck, he's going to be mad at me that I don't remember. But you can find him if you could just look for Gio or Superfan Gio on Twitter, and you'll find him. God damn it, it's right in the plugs. Don't be ants. But Superfan Gio is out there. Now, I'll tell you this. David Mex Hernandez, who does all of the cool-ass artwork stuff for this show, you can only get him at Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. That's where you want to go and be his friend. He's not on Twitter. He's not on Instagram. He's not on any of these joints. And I've told him, I go, dude, you got to get on there to promote your work. And he's just like, no, what the fuck? What's the reason? And once again, he's come out the cooler head. He's prevailed, and I think he's the smart one. So go find our friend David Mex Hernandez. Be his friend at Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Or you can find him at artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH.com. He does all sorts of artwork over there. He does Gycons. He does Valscapes. He's got individual artwork that's for sale that he's done previously, like things of rock stars. He's got all sorts of things over there for you to peruse at artbydmh.com. But also, he will do custom artwork for you. That's right. If you contact him and you're like, dude, I want you to make my head out of macaroni. If you're like, hey, dude, I want you to sculpt my head out of some cream of mushroom soup. He can do all of those things. He works in all sorts of milieus, I guess you would say. All sorts of substances. That sounds weird. He'll make your face out of salt and pepper. He'll make an Etch-a-Sketch of you. Send him an Etch-a-Sketch. He will draw you an Etch-a-Sketch and mail it back. It'll be fucking amazing. But you got to find him, first of all. That's David Mex Hernandez. He is available at artbydmh.com. Go ahead and find him there. Contact him to get him to do all of your cool stuff going forward for 2018 and beyond. That is artbydmh.com, ARTBYDMH.com.
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy, and later, Shooting Ropes at Sexy Popes. This fall, on The 40-Year-Old Boy.
Sir, did you happen to see my test scores?
Yeah, and they're beautiful, but don't get caught up on someone else's scene, man.
I know,
You
but my
gotta
parents
do-
really want me to go to college.
That's their bag, man. That's an ego scene. You can't get caught up in that. You gotta be you, man. You gotta do what you wanna do.
Well, I know I'm supposed to just be me, but I want to go with my friends to college.
You can't go to college, man.
Why can't I go to college?
Because, like, you're really dumb, dig?
The new season. Jimi Hendrix, guidance counselor, on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
Have you ever been to Canada?
night. Before he walks among you, bet you never knew. Danger that's above you, waiting for his turn. Will he be the one who'll save the world for you? Or will he be the one who'd rather watch it burn? He is deep inside his head again. He can't hear you anymore. You don't wanna be in there with him. Who will save you from his civil war? Yeah, ain't no joke. You better step aside. Don't provoke the big angry. Ain't no joke. You better run and hide. Just a hope. The big angry. Don't you get too close, cause he'll open fire on you. Don't you catch a bullet when they go astray. What you gonna do now? The story's coming true. What you gonna do now when he goes away? He is deep inside his head again. He can't hear you anymore. You don't wanna be in there with him. Who will save you from his civil war? Yeah, ain't no joke. You better step aside. Don't provoke the big angry. Ain't no joke. You better run and hide. Just a walk. The big angry. Agent of chaos, violence and pain. It's just him, there's no us. What's the point in trying to explain? Has got an answer, everybody try. Everybody climbs aboard, you think you wanna ride. Everybody climbs aboard, everybody dies. He's deep inside his head again. He can't hear you anymore. You don't wanna be in there with him. Who will save you from his civil war? Yeah, ain't no joke. Better step aside, don't provoke the big angry. Ain't no joke. You better run and hide. Just to walk the big angry. Ain't no joke. You better step aside, don't provoke the big angry. Ain't no joke. You better run and hide. Just to walk the big angry. And in the end, the measuring tape is equal to the cake you rape.
So upon further reflection, I'm wondering if that show came off as Old Man Shouts at Cloud or Old Man Yells at Kids on Lawn. I'm a little disillusioned. I certainly find myself a little spun up, maybe without a little hope these days, just for the world. Not for me. I'm going to be fine. I mean, I'm going to sit here in my apartment and go out and I'm going to live life. I'm going to make 2018 all about living life. There's oceans to see and to dive into, and there's sand to walk on and build castles out of, and there's fucking clouds to look at and try to find your face in, man. Let's fucking do this, he said from the womb of his apartment. But I will do it, goddammit. That's it's taken me this long to actually have this consideration where I'm decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna cook. I've got a work schedule. I'm actually gonna drive certain hours. I'm gonna make myself be an adult. But not like a sad adult who's like, boo-hoo, and, you know, all gray and white shirt and a fucking plain tie and checking in everywhere. No, I'll be an adult in the fact that I can parent myself and take care of myself. I'm just repeating myself at this fucking point. But it's because I I can't convey enough to you how I'm hoping I didn't come off as like a fucking stick in the mud there. But man, I see shit and I'm just ready to fucking bail. I'm done. And also let me talk about this real quick. That fucking Logan Paul, who I described him to Max, I don't know if I did it earlier in the show here, as basically Jackass in a human. I mean, he's just a human. That's all he is. He's the show Jackass, but given $1 million to be a guy and jump off his roof and film it and do all sorts of shit. And look, the guy's 22, man. I mean, when I was 22, I was doing dumb shit. You heard all about it by fucking year one. I was doing dumb shit at 42. Who the fuck cares? But I kind of care because I just found... It's so, and again, this might have been an old man guy, but fuck, I'm tired of straddling the fucking line and explaining, oh, it could have been this, it could have been that. I can't, both sides myself. I seriously look at myself and go, well, should you really feel that way? Or maybe you should explain this, and what about that? And fuck that, man. It was a dick move. What he did was shitty. And I should also say this. I'm not 100% sure it was true. I'm not 100% sure it was not a setup. Because if you watch it, he's a bad enough actor to where he's just like, whoa. He's got that Spicoli thing happening, where he's like, this is like a body, and I'm like, man, what the? It doesn't ping true. The only thing that ping true is later, there's like actual emergency people on the scene, but they could have been there for something else. I don't fucking know. And look, I don't speculate. I don't want to know. I don't want to watch the whole fucking thing. And I'll be honest, I didn't want to watch clips. Because I didn't want to give him the fucking view. I didn't want to be contributing 8 cents to him, man. That's fucked. I mean, because Anthony needs my 8 fucking cents. And see, that's the thing, is that's what I do, is I double back and I what about it? Fuck. The point is, the guy's a fucking jagoff, and what he did was a shitty thing to do. And it's just, I see everybody fucking losing any sort of empathy and moving on, and everybody's got a joke. Everybody got jokes. Am I just repeating myself? Yes, I am. Fuck, why? Stop. But fucking, yeah, and I do the same thing with Trump, where I'm like, look, I know some of you guys support him, but I don't care. He's a fucking dangerous asshole. And they all are. Pence, fucking McConnell, Ryan, all those motherfuckers. They're awful. They're awful people. And they're raping and ruining the country. But I mean, is there even a country? Is this experiment of America finished? Are we done? Is the fiddling started and the flames just kicking up? I don't know. I don't know. But I sure fucking feels that way. As soon as you dive into the ants, you see people fucking I literally saw people that I know on Facebook saying it was a good thing what he wrote to North Korea, saying it was a smart move. Maybe, this guy actually said, maybe crazy beats crazy. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, crazy, you know what crazy leads to? Mushroom clouds and people eating tinned peaches and staring at one another over a fire and going, yeah, well, our crazy guy sure showed that fucking crazy guy. Because these two motherfuckers live a life of luxury and they don't have to worry about real people or little people. And I will tell you, I've been referring to us as ants. To us, to them, we are literal ants. I mean, you think Donald Trump thinks one iota about coal miners other than to say, oh man, what fucking speech do I got to give these fucking rubes now? You think Kim Jong-un thinks about farmers or anybody in his fucking country without thinking what they can do for him or how he can make money off of their sweat and toil and blood? No. Fuck no. Nobody believes anything. Nobody believes anything. Maybe that should be something I should take with me into the future. Fuck, who cares? Hey, you know what? We got plugs, man. Let's talk about plugs. Let's stop fucking pre-gaming or Sunday morning or Monday morning quarterbacking or whatever the fuck this show and just tell you about our friends over at getthebutters.com. You know, folks, when nuclear war does come and it makes your skin pruny, because I don't know if you know this, that's the first thing that happens. A mushroom cloud goes off and then there's a heat wave and a radius blast and it'll hit you and your skin gets all pruny. You're going to want to have some sort of lotion on hand from getthebutters.com. That's right, getthebutters.com, run by our good friend Jerome. He's up in Michigan where he's already living an apocalyptic lifestyle because he's in the UP and they've got those people are eating fucking potatoes and snow. So he has no fucking concept. I mean, look, he's trying to survive by selling you lube. I mean, that should tell you all you need to know about his survival instincts. But he's got butters and balms and lubes and bombs. Don't say bombs. But he's got all of that stuff on sale at getthebutters.com. Go ahead there. Use the code 40YOB. The code 40YOB. Get a fancy beard oil like our friend Rick Wellbanks got from me, and he reviewed it and he said he liked it. But get a fancy beard oil because I got news for you. The razors are all going to melt in the nuclear blast, so you're going to want to take care of your facial hair unless you start shaving with a sharpened rock. And if I was you, hey, Jerome, you know what? Why don't you start offering shaving rocks, sharpened rocks at getthebutters.com? But when you're caught in the heat of a radioactive blast and you want to make sure that your skin is fine, you've got to have a nice lotion on you from getthebutters.com. I would wear the lotion all the time because it protects from radiation, but you can get it and use it after the fact if you want to. Because quite frankly, if you put it on beforehand, you're going to look like a mummy because it lathers you up white. You look like Big Shaving Cream Head from fucking Blues Brothers 2000, which is still my favorite thing of all time. But go to getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YOB. That's getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YOB and get all of your apocalyptic needs as far as butters and balms and lotions and lubes and all sorts of fun stuff, and get those sharpened shaving rocks so you can look your best when you're having the lottery in your new community and you're deciding which virgin to kill. So Don Jr. can come to your fucking community and bless you with a half smile. Fuck these assholes, ruining everything. Folks, do you listen to podcasts? I think you do. And if you listen to podcasts, I got a podcast for you. Not this one. You know what? This is just an old man shouting. However, if you go to the iTunes store, download The Paranoid Strain, hosted by Fearful Jesuit. I'll tell you what, that's a dude who should be on top of all the bullshit that's about to happen here. If I'm him, I know he does shows in advance because they're meticulously written and they're well put together. They're edited fucking... It's so good what he does. Go listen to the show, The Paranoid Strain. It's in iTunes right now. Download it. The episode now, I think, is still episode 5, I believe, is up. It's all about sovereign citizens and their shenanigans, if you want to go ahead and throw that word out there. But those are the people you're going to have to... Yeah, this is really kind of relevant now. Go listen to the episode because you're going to want to know who these fucking people are, because once the shit hits the fan, they're the ones who are going to start cordoning off suburbs and proclaiming it Bundyville or Snipesland or this is Smithtown, pal. Keep walking. Unless you've got tomatoes to trade. I mean, these are the motherfuckers who are going to... They're the survivalist assholes who think this is what's coming anyway. So you might want to get a heads up and at least find out what they do by listening to The Paranoid Strain, hosted by Fearful Jesuit. In the iTunes store, you can leave a review and make sure you tell them that I sent you and told them, don't want to tell you to say that it's a great show. I want you to listen to the show and then you decide on your own. But I will tell you I think it's a great show because it's written well, meticulously, it's edited perfectly, and it is, like I said, it's something I don't do. So to hear something that I don't do always impresses me. So go listen to The Paranoid Strain. Also, contact Fearful Jesuit. Send him a note. Tell him what you want to discuss. Tell him you love the show. Tell him you want to possibly be involved. Perhaps you'll have your voice in the show itself. And do this quickly before net neutrality shuts down all of our podcasts, because, that's coming. Eventually, they're going to do something where they're going to charge people, or they're going to charge me to post shows, and then nothing's going to help, folks. Then I truly am I'm driving a vomit ambulance or a cambulance or whatever the fuck. And so these, you know what? Treasure these shows. Treasure these and bring them to heart, because God knows they're going to swoop in and fucking destroy guys like me and Fearful Jesuit, because we know we try to keep it indie. Keep it indie with Mike Schmidt. This made me laugh, by the way. There's a podcasting network called Feral Audio, which is a podcasting network here in town. And it has some amazing shows. Like, I have no beef with the shows. The shows are great and the people are great. I think the Sklar's were on there as well. But I laughed because they said fiercely independent podcasting. But they had a network, and that network parsed out advertising. And I guess it's still independent if you own your fucking show. I don't know. But it just... Because we talk about keeping indie with Mike Schmidt, because I'm sitting in a fucking apartment by myself. I've got no master to answer to other than Jerome and Fearful Jesuit. Those guys are coughing up some dough. But other than that, man... I got nobody. So, but I would have joined Fearful Audio. I'd join a network in a minute. I say keep it independent with Mike Schmidt. I mean, I would have rules. I would say, well, look, I own the show and blah, 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 whatever the fuck. But the guy at Fearful Audio, here's the thing. This dude, he got exposed as a fucking, like a psychopath. Like the guy who runs Feral Audio, I guess, he was harassing a woman and he was abusive to he was dating a musician and he was mean to her and she put it all on Twitter. And then he apologized, and then he had a poll on Twitter to see if he should kill himself, and I'm like, you're a winner. This guy's the best. And here's the thing, he'll bounce back. I mean, again, podcasting is just fucking podcasting. He's going to have another network. He's going to, all these guys, everybody you've heard about, Louis C.K., Harvey Weinstein, all these fucking dudes are going to come back. We can pretend now that we're shunning them and putting them off, and I hope for women's sake and all the people that were victims and all the Me Too people that we are able to look at this and move forward in a way where we actually respect women and listen to them. But holy fuck, man, nothing's going to happen. Again, do you have any hope? Do you have any hope whatsoever? I hate to be that guy who comes in and preaches no hope, but I'm a no-hoper from the jump. There's like the never Trumpers. I'm a no-hoper. I mean, I think just the election of Trump. There's an article that came out in New York Magazine today, and it's an excerpt from a book. And it's all about like Trump's White House and him calling people cunts, and then him not pretending that he never thought he was going to win. And it's got intimate details of dinners, and him and Steve Bannon hate one another, and it's just a bunch of fucking... I mean, it's craziness. It's just really craziness. And then, of course, that comes out, and now they're all Monday morning quarterbacking the guy who wrote it. They're like, well, he's more of a gossip guy than I don't give a fuck. He's got quotes. If he's got quotes and nobody is threatened to sue him yet, Bannon or Trump or any of these guys, I got fucking news for you, man. It's true. The stuff that he wrote is true because they haven't come out and they haven't sued him. They might say he's a dick or he's a jerk, and now they try to put him on trial by saying, he skims the details. I don't give a fuck. Sue him. If you want to sue the motherfucker, then that's what you do. Because if Trump doesn't sue you, you know that you're in the fucking clear. Because that's all that motherfucker does is sue people. He sues bricklayers. He sues sauna people. He sues fucking bartenders. He would sue McDonald's if he didn't get fucking 48 fries instead of 47 and a fucking large fry. He wouldn't fucking care. He's that guy. He's litigious. And he would absolutely sue this guy to the fucking Stone Age if he thought there was something wrong there. But instead, no, he hasn't yet. We'll see. Because again, they come with the works even today. Fucking Paul Manafort filed a lawsuit against Robert Mueller's commission. And that's just them throwing paperwork obstacles in the way to try to fucking take a knee and run out the fucking clock and get out of office before the bad shit hits the fan. Hi. Now I sound like a tinfoil hat fuckhead. All right, so did I mention Paranoid Strain? Of course I did. It's on the web. It's on iTunes. Go ahead and download it. Our friend Fearful Jesuit is the host. Tell him how great he is, and just listen to it to find out about the end times, which are no doubt arriving soon, motherfuckers. They are coming. Who wants to drive for Uber? You? You? Who wants to drive for Lyft? You? You? Who wants to drive a Cambulance? I think you do. I think people out there who are trying to use Lyft, you want to drive for Lyft? Here's what you want to do. Use this code, Mike720057. That's Mike720057. Please go ahead and drive for Lyft and make sure that everybody there knows what's up. MIKE720057. Use that code. Make me money. You make money. Everything's cool. And if you want to drive for Uber, go to Uber and use this code, DJZ W1YTTUE. Now, I'll tell you this. I've had a couple of people recently contact me and go, hey, Mike, what was your code? Well, I understand that, but then they've already signed up. So you got to use the code when you sign up. I understand that you want to sign up, and then Uber has, I guess, given people credit for the code after the fact sometimes. But sometimes Uber can be a dick and just go, nah, you needed to use that when you signed up. So if you want to be an Uber driver and you'd like to use my code, please have this on hand. DJZW1YTTUE, DJZW1YTTUE, and use that when you sign up. And then you drive. I'm your Uber pimp. I get some money. You get some money, you make some rides, everybody's happy. So go ahead and become an Uber and a Lyft driver. The gig economy, man, it's taken over, especially with the new tax code kicking in. Like I told you, I don't have a fucking clue about any of that. You got to pay your taxes anyway, right? Everybody pays their fucking taxes. Oh, except for the rich people who don't have to pay their fucking taxes. And yes, I'm turning into that guy. I don't mean to be that guy, but I just, as I sit and I absorb, I need to move. I got to bust out. That's what I got to do. I got to run out like it's the last day of school and just fucking sprint out and leave. No more pencils, no more books, and just look forward, man. Go do some push-ups on the beach. Go fight Apollo in an empty garage. Do something with your life. Go inhale and exhale. And I'm planning on it. I'm going to. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. We got all sorts of cool-ass stuff there. Still some stuff for sale that you know about. And then, of course, we've got the Amazon link, which is very important. Thank you for doing as much as you could during the holidays to use the link. It turned out really well, and I appreciate that so much. Using the Amazon link costs you nothing. It just clicks you through and brings you to the Amazon store itself, and then whatever you buy, we get money, they get money, you get stuff. It works out perfectly. It does not cost you an extra cent. It's just going to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, the Joe Business page, and clicking through the Amazon link, and then do all your shopping there, and we get some, we get credit. And we get a little siphon off the top, a little taste, a little boom boom, a little bingo, like that, right off the top, baby. So thank you for thinking of us by using the Amazon link. We get money, they get money, you get stuff. It's important. Use the Amazon link. It really helps the show, and you're the best. You know what else helps the show? Patreon. I have a Patreon page. Pay people. Now I'm going to throw this out there to you Patreon people who are. By the way, I heard from a gentleman this week who's like, hey, I apologize. It wasn't a gentleman. It was a lady. It was our good friend Ashley Allen. And she was like, hey, dude, this Patreon thing is great. I just signed up and you never mentioned my fucking name, you fuck. Which seemed aggressive. But, I mean, that's who she is. Ashley's an aggressive girl in New Mexico, and she sends me pictures of balloons on Snapchat. But she's used to dealing with toddlers. In her job, I'm giving away far too much about Ashley now, and she's going to be fucking furious. But in her job, she works with challenged children. And I don't mean challenged to a duel. I mean kids who may have had a bump on their head and now they can't spell words, that kind of thing. Or they may have been born in a way where they aren't involved in certain activities like being able to walk correctly. Does that make sense? I don't know specifically what it is. I just know she's kind of related to me in certain language, and I've built up a thing in my like she could have said, hey, I work with kids, and in my head, she's a circus clown. I mean, I don't fucking know. But Ashley Allen was someone who donated to our Patreon page, and I do appreciate that very much. Thank you, Ashley. But she was very careful to tell me, hey, look, by the way, you never fucking said that I donated. And man, I Dude, I was furious, and I apologized like 3 times. She's like, "No, don't worry about it." And I'm like, "Dude, you don't understand, man. I mean, it's a big fucking deal to me. It just is, because you're cool enough to do it. Why the fuck don't I say your name? That's the least fucking thing I could absolutely do." And God knows, as we've mentioned, I'm into doing the least I can do. But you know who else gave up some money? Let's talk about, first of all, like I mentioned, Ashley Allen, who's the best. She gave up some dough. Our great friend Michael Caldwell signed up. He's joined up. Our friend Trygiv Pedersen, Trygiv. Now, look, by the way, I may have said some of these names on here already, but Ashley telling me that I didn't say her name has freaked me the fuck out, so now I'm just going to say everybody all over again. Like our friend Tom Owens, who stepped up on New Year's Eve, got in right under the wire. That was one of his New Year's resolutions. I'm going to give Mike a Patreon donation in 2018. Thank you, Tom Owens. I'm glad you thought of me. Our friend Christian Argill, who sent me a picture of himself for Christmas with, Christian's got one of those beards, you know what I'm talking about? One of those beards that goes down to your nipples, like one of those crazy beards, and he had a bunch of Christmas ornaments hung in his beards. And he's like, "Hey, Merry Christmas." I said, "Merry Christmas to you." That picture is unfortunate. And I want to say, I said beards plural, like he's got a bunch of beards. No, it looks like it. He's got one giant fucking beard. So Michael Caldwell, Turgive Peterson, Christian Argill, Tom Owens, Ashley Allen is the best. Stephen Mudd stepped up. Thank you. Our friend Melinda Lovett also gave up some dough. Let's see here. Reuben Cohen. Did I mention Reuben? I think I did. I'm going back here through months and months and months. Who are these people? Is that, do I have a pledge thing or no, I don't think I do. I'm looking through a list right now because, I'm very, very well prepared when I come on the air with you fine folks. Let's see. Well, whatever. People are availing themselves. Oh, there was, she got in at the end of November. Maybe that's why I missed her. Our friend Ashley Allen. And then of course, John Overholt, Jeff L. Thank you all very much. I appreciate everybody for stepping up and donating money and being patrons for this show. You're the best of all time. And if you want to be a patron, because I will tell you this, I'm throwing this out there to Patreon people. I'm always asking, because I said I would do personal podcasts for people and all these different things, but nobody's ever called me on it. Nobody's ever been like, "Hey, I really want that," or the phone call thing, and none of that. If you guys want that stuff, tell me. And I know it's weird because it's like I promised it. I should just fucking do it. But because nobody's saying anything about it, I'm wondering if it's even something that anybody cares about. Do you get enough of me here? Because we got the YouTube channel too, which I've mentioned. YouTube, go ahead and visit the 40-Year-Old Boy YouTube channel. We got all the old shows, the archives, and that kind of stuff. And going forward again in 2018, I've made it a commitment in my brain to start doing more stuff for YouTube, more stuff for Instagram. I'm trying to, and it's so funny. I talked to Shannon today, I'll tell you, and we had a meeting because like we do every week. And I told her, look, I don't know. It's weird. I go, I want to do those things, but then also at the same time, there's so much out there. I just don't feel that my voice. Because this show was about how there's so many fucking ants out there. Why do I think I should be a queen ant? Why should you hear more from me? It's dumb. I know. But that's what goes in your fucking head. But it doesn't fucking matter. I'm moving forward with 2018 and planning to do a lot more social media stuff. Maybe not fucking, reading. I need to stop reading and just maybe contributing. I need to start doing more of that stuff. So, follow me on Twitter. Follow me at Snapchat. Follow me at Instagram. Write me on an email. That'd be great. Facebook, of course, I'm always over there. But Patreon, man, if you want to be a Patreon person and take a look at the levels, and anybody who's got there's the level, the 5, the 10, the 25, the Super Guy Gene Angry, Happy Good Time Yelling Hour, all those things are out there. And if you want a personal podcast, if you want anything, I will start posting more and asking questions in the Patreon page itself. But I'm in. I mean, I want to fucking involve myself. I want you guys to be involved. And I want you to get the things that you expected. That's why I felt so bad about Ashley. She's like, "Hey, man, you never fucking said my name on the air." I'm like, "God damn it." And she's like, "No, it's cool." But I apologized 4 fucking times and hit myself in the head with a goddamn hammer to go, fuck this, you idiot. Because I don't like letting people down, as you know. So, hey, man, join the Patreon page. That would be cool. Again, as I mentioned, like our good friend Tom Owens, who came in right under the wire of 2017. And that was appreciated. So thank you, everybody who stepped up and made December a cool-ass Patreon month. It exists. It's out there. And I would love to have you be a patron going forward. That'd be fantastic. Remember, July 7th, 2018, I will be in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, running the Spartan Sprint with our friend Colette and a bunch of other people. I've had people step up and say, "Hey, man, we want to do that. We want to see you in Indiana." People have asked about me doing a broadcast. Like I said, I might do a show there. I might record a podcast. I don't fucking know. I don't know what's happening. But I just know that the weekend of July 7th, 2018, I will be in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. I'm running the Spartan Sprint on Saturday, and whatever the fuck we fill in the gaps with on Friday and Sunday, we can make that work. Maybe a Reds game. I haven't looked to see if they're in town. I don't know how close Cincinnati is. But I will tell you this. Our friend Colette, she wrote on the page, she goes, well, Mike supposedly is coming out here in July. Interesting. I told you I was coming out there in July. Do you think that I would lie? Do you think that I would not be truthful? Do you think that I'm someone who would go back on his word? Of course I'm coming out there. I'm hoping to step on a rock and roll my ankle and then still finish the run in a heroic fashion and have everyone champion me and carry me off the course. Like I said, it's all dedicated. 2018, I want to get back out. I want to go see people. I want to do things. This Spartan Sprint is perfect. Japan is going to be perfect. And by the way, I'm so excited for Japan. I don't even know if fucking Japan's going to be there, but I'm going to be fucking there and excited. And listeners, I have to write back to a listener reached out to me and he's like, hey man, I'd love to see you in Japan. Yes, I'm in. I forget your name. But I saw it via Facebook, and I did not get to answer you because things. But that's another thing in 2018. I want to answer you quickly. Send me an email, send me something on Facebook or anything, and I will try to answer you as quickly as possible. I'm getting ahead of my correspondence this year, folks. I'm staying on top of things. I'm making this my job. I'm making this my effort. Because like I said, I'm going to have a work schedule, and 2 days a week I'm off and doing this, and possibly 3 days, then driving, and I got plans, folks, so many plans, and I'm glad that you're here with me. Here as we celebrate 2018, the first and last year of our Lord, as I see things falling apart. I'm excited and yet at the same time trepidatious, but it's good to know that you're all with me and we're all going to go forward on this sort of thing, possibly at a pierogi fest. We might go to that. Remember that in Indiana. I got all sorts of plans, folks. I want to go to Kansas City. I want to go to Austin. I want to go back to Chicago, Phoenix, Portland. I want to go to cities I've never been to. I want to go to Boston. I want to go everywhere on the East Coast that I've been, places down south that don't even want me. I want to go, I want to do a show in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I want those people to fucking hate me. I want to go to Georgia, possibly, like I said, in Atlanta or possibly in Macon. Who knows? I've got some connections out there. I've had people reach out. And here's another thing, like I've said, I want to get overseas, man. Our friend John Arneson, I'm going to give his name. John was the one who reached out, and he wants to talk to me about it and sit down and have a plan and really bang some stuff out. I think he's here in February, and then he and I are going to have a lunch, and he's going to start looking at things in England, because other podcasters go out there, they rent theaters, they do things, and that's what I want to do. I want to fucking get out. I want to go. I would love to go to Australia. I mean, I got fucking plans. I want to start doing voiceovers. I want to reach out and try to get a fucking career. I want to. There's so much to do. There's so much to do, and now there's going to be so little time. I got 25 years left to do these things and live the life I should have led, And I'm not shitting on the thing that I've done so far. I'm happy to have you guys on board. I wouldn't have people like Ashley Allen or Tom Owens showing up if things weren't good so far. We've done 10 solid years of this show. Will you do 10 more? I'd love to. I'm going to talk as long as you fucking people keep listening, and I'm going to go wherever you are if you want to listen to me. I'll show up and talk. I'll be like I said, I'll be like Johnny Comedy Seed. I'll be fucking. I think I made a Johnny Other Seed in another show. We should probably table that one, but that was a good one. Go find that on year 5 and remind me of who I said Johnny Seed was before. But I'm going to go from town to town. That's what I want to do. I want to show up. I'll be like the courtship of Eddie's father. That's what I want to do, right? He's my best friend. I'm going to be your best friend. It's the courtship of Mike Schmidt's, not father, fanhood. It's the courtship of my, I don't fucking, never mind. Forget I said that's a bad analogy. All because the theme song was pinging in my fucking head. And it's just, people, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one boy, cuddly toy, my up, my down, my pride and joy. People, let me tell you, he's so much fun, whether he's talking man to man or whether he's talking son to son. I think that's where I came up with town to town. Because there's no town to town in that song, is there? Go ahead and look up the lyrics. I'll wait. That's fucking awful. No, do not look up the lyrics. I hated that fucking show. I liked Mrs. Livingston. Because I thought about having an Asian aunt. Like I said, I was fascinated with all things Japan growing up. First time I ever ate rice, I'm like, I love Japan. And then I saw Mrs. Livingston, and I'm like, boom, that's it perfectly. And that's why I want to go to Japan. I'd love to do a geisha thing. I want to go all over the place. I want to see listeners. I'm just going to be out there doing it, fucking rampaging, running the jewels. I'm going to be running the Japanese jewels, man. Let's run the Japanese jewels together. If you're out there, let's make it happen. Let's be like a fucking Schmidt gang and fucking rampage and run the Japanese jewels. Me, you, and a bunch of other dudes in fucking crazy ass hats, and I'm gonna have some Harajuku girls, and me and Ahmad and his Muslim crew, and we're gonna fucking go all over the place, and we're gonna make Japan ours. We're gonna turn it into fucking Schmidt Pan. Let's go to Schmidt Pan. Yeah, that's better than fucking Japan. Let's go to Schmidt Pan.
inside yourself. It's easier to hide when you pretend you're the knight. Women love a guy with a giant neck.
We here, we are playing on a level that most will never see. 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 Never see.